Right now on Hot Pursuit, this patrol car's trunk gets junked. A traffic jam jams up a drug runner's commute. And a suspect gets stuck between a cop and a hard place. In Canton, Ohio, an officer pulls over the owner of this SUV for driving with a suspended license. The guy complies, but takes his time searching for just the perfect place to pull over.
Pulling in the Pier 1 M towards the side of the building. Stop.
The officer's running out of patience. It's time for this picky parker to cut it out.
Stop the car! Put your hands on the steering wheel right now! Put it in park, slowly! Step out where I can see your hands! Do it now! Don't reach, I'm gonna light you up! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Don't reach, get out of the car! Get out of the car right now! Undo the belt slowly! Get out! Get out! Back here, put your hands on the car. I'm going to shoot you with a taser. Take a step back, spread your feet. Put your hands on the car. Go down to your knees. Do it now! Cross your legs. I didn't say go on your belly. Cross your legs. Put your hands behind your back. Look straight ahead. Don't move. You understand? Keep your hands on your...
You can't say the officer didn't warn him. When the guy's hands went down, the taser went off. He now finds himself parked next to his truck.
You know we're going to strike you again, you understand? No, secure taser still on.
The officer calls in backup, but for now has to rely on the threat of electric shock to keep the suspect in line.
On the ground. I'll light you up again. Why didn't you just do what I asked you to do, Michael?
It really hurts, though.
Yeah, it does hurt.
Yes, it does, sir. I promise you I will not move. You do not have to hit me again.
Roll over on your left side onto your belly. Do it now.
Backup arrives, and just in time, too. This driver has a lot more to worry about than a suspended license.
Don't touch anything in that vehicle. Hey, Mike, get a plastic bag. There's a yellow piece of paper up there he tried to eat.
Looks like all that electricity has made the guy a little hungry. When a policeman gives you instructions, it's a good idea to take them seriously. Here's a shocking reminder of what happens when you don't.
Keep your hands on... 25676. Okay, sir. Tasers, you the line.
Just because you're driving a luxury automobile doesn't mean you have any class. In Cherokee County, Georgia, the driver of this black Mercedes is drunk and has so far ignored requests to pull over. The troopers on his tail decide to box him in. But this driver isn't about to be stopped. The officers move their cars into position and suddenly strike. Staring down the hood of the Mercedes, the trooper has no choice but to open fire. The driver gets through, but it's not exactly a clean getaway. He's out of control as he hurtles across the median, crashing into some trees on the other side. Several of the trooper's shots hit their target, and the driver is left in no condition to escape. Meanwhile, the officer who took the brunt of the car's impact is in pain and needs immediate attention. Luckily, he's got his buddies around to help out. What started as a simple DUI quickly spun out of control, with a black Mercedes turned into a weapon and a cop left with no choice. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, can a guy write a ticket without being interrupted? And a canine cop is barking up the right tree. Back in Georgia, Douglas County Sheriff's officers are a bit suspicious of this black Lincoln. Time to pull it over. After running his plates, they learn that his driver's license has been suspended for fleeing officers at a previous stop. If it worked for the guy once before, why shouldn't he try it again? The Lincoln is no sports car, but it weaves in and out of traffic like one in a desperate attempt to get away. The chase soon reaches over 115 miles per hour. At this speed, it's easy to miss the bundle of cocaine that the passenger throws out of the vehicle. They're already busted for a bunch of crimes. Why not add drug trafficking to the list? As the evidence is sprayed all over the highway, more officers join the chase. But with all this snow flying around, they're going to have a hard time keeping their eyes on the crooks. One officer swerves to keep up with the fleeing felon, but is forced off the road. Suspect still hasn't shaken the cops, and the chase keeps flying down the Georgia highway. A chase like this ends in one of two ways: the suspect running out of gas or crashing. Given the high speeds and the smoke billowing from the car, cops are betting this guy's gas supply won't be the problem. Suddenly, the officers get a much-needed assist from something most people hate: traffic. With the highway at a standstill and the shoulder blocked, one of the drug runners takes a run through the woods. But with a canine unit on his trail, he'll be lucky to break a sweat before he's arrested. The other guy has a little more sense and surrenders to the police. When the perp's taken down by the police pup, the officers move in to cuff him. The whole thing is ended without incident. Or has it? Squeezed between the cruiser and a big truck, an officer's foot takes the full weight of a semi as it rolls down the highway. As he limps away for help, the dog lets the felon know who's boss. Driving into traffic is a good way to get jammed up. Thankfully, the cops got a little help from their four-legged friend. Too bad this suspect and this unfortunate officer won't have a leg to stand on. In Guilford County, North Carolina, this woman has been stopped for speeding, and the officer wants to have a quick chat.
Yeah, ma'am. My $2 off, please. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Green, the reason I stopped is I've been behind you since Racine Road. I've clocked you 4 different times during that time. You were in a 45 zone, also a 55 zone. Your average speed was 71 miles per hour till you came up behind this truck here a while ago. Yes, ma'am.
But their conversation is rudely interrupted. A distracted driver slams into stopped traffic in front of him. And it sounds as bad as it looks.
571, signal 1, 1050 just for third.
All things considered, it's the crash victim's lucky day. The woman the cop pulled over earlier is a nurse. She suits up and gets ready to help.
I got the EMS and fire on the way. Yes, sir. We got my kit.
One look at the damage sustained by both cars, and it's clear these drivers are going to need the nurse's aid as quickly as possible.
Can you pull your car up by and block that lane? Sure. Because they have quit flying right by there. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Let this be a reminder about the dangers of rubbernecking. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, some cops aren't afraid to get a little dirty. And how did this camera avoid getting crushed? In Donna, Texas, state troopers don't just have a stolen car to chase down. They also have to rescue the owner's 8-year-old son, who was still in the back seat when the car was taken. This dirt road makes it a rough ride for the officer, who struggles to keep things straight. But even though the terrain makes this chase tough, the trooper isn't going to let this maniac get away with kidnapping. The car thief does all he can to shake the cop and takes the off-road chase even further off-road. But the thief overestimates the stolen car's capabilities and gets himself stuck in the mud. Realizing he's in over his head, facing child endangerment and evading arrest on top of stealing the car, he gives up. The boy was returned to his mother safe and sound, having just had the ride of his young life, although the crook will get a much slower ride to the local courthouse. This car thief took one kid and one cop on one bumpy ride. But when he finally gave up, he was wearing a striped shirt. How fitting. He won't even have to change clothes when he's sent to prison. In Columbus, Ohio, Sergeant Ethan Moffett is lying in wait at a speed trap on a busy highway. He doesn't have to wait long. So far, so good. This driver is ready to comply and pulls over without a problem. Sergeant Moffett approaches the car. It's a textbook speeding ticket. And before too long, the Sarge is ready to send the driver on his way. But suddenly, a pickup truck has slammed into the back of the patrol car, starting a domino effect, pushing it into the other vehicle. In slow-mo, the Sarge's lightning reflexes are clearly visible. He sees the truck coming and leaps out of the way. This crash could have killed Sergeant Moffett. But thanks to some quick thinking, he'll live to write another ticket. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, two car thieves want to make a very clean getaway. And a suspect turns a patrol car into a punching bag. This is Columbus, Ohio, and these two lucky ladies have broken into a police bait car.
Bitch, you cannot drive crazy. You're stupid.
It's fitted with an onboard camera, a remote engine kill switch, and a GPS tracking system. So while these two car thieves are having a good time stealing this car, the cops are having a good time watching them. Wait a minute, was that a police car? Yes, it is. So they duck and then sit up again and pretend nothing's happened. Very smooth. Of course, they're not fooling the police watching them on camera. The cops have had enough, and they remotely kill the engine. These two thought they were playing it cool in this hot car, but the cops could see right through their facade. Say cheese. In Seminole County, Florida, this stolen garbage truck is being followed by a police helicopter. Earlier in the morning, Orlando PD received a call from the driver telling them that he was suicidal. Now the police are trying to safely bring in this careening 10-ton truck. They deployed spike strips and taken out his front tires, not helping the truck's handling at all. He comes to a standstill at these traffic lights, but the cops have to be cautious with this delicate situation. So he's able to head off again. He flies through a toll booth, riding on just his rims. Eventually, the big rig gets the better of the driver and veers into the drink. Soon enough, the suspect is surrounded. Now that they've fished this guy out, he'll be taken into protected custody for his own safety. Things are a little shaky in Greensboro, North Carolina, where the suspect in this Toyota pickup tears through a shopping mall parking lot, past a gas station, and then to a very unlikely place.
We're going behind the sheriff's department. Here's the Toyota pickup truck with a washer and dryer in the back. Appears to be occupied by one white male. He just struck another patrol car.
But it's no accident. As his brake lights flash on and off, it's clear he wants to take his anger out on the parked car. Again, and again, and again. With one patrol car wrecked and his own truck not doing much better, the guy's early morning rampage keeps on going.
Vehicles going behind the food line. Vehicles in the parking lot heading towards the McDonald's.
The suspect might be searching for the drive-thru. This officer is hungry for one thing only, putting this chase to an end. Finally, another officer blocks the pickup's way. His one-man demolition derby is over.
Get up, ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
2410 and
0457 hours 22 and 23. You about to step back.
What's going on, Bub?
Nothing, sir.
What are you doing?
22 10 4, and I'll be 10
Trying to
23.
get to my Acura NSX.
Huh?
22 10
I was trying to get to my Acura NSX.
23 10.
What are you hitting all these cars for?
I asked the police officers right here to help me. They wouldn't help me.
Who's the police
I
officer?
don't know them. They wouldn't help me.
411, copy advised.
Where were they out at?
Huh?
Where was the officer at?
What officer?
The officer that wouldn't help you.
I don't know where he's at. The Lord told me to come over here and take care of business.
Okay.
422, 10.
As it turns out, this bipolar suspect hadn't been taking his medication. But he did take out 5 patrol cars and 1 SUV instead. So the cops put him out of business.
The Lord told me to come over here and take care of business.
Right now on Hot Pursuit, police play bumper cars with a fugitive. Objects may be closer than they appear. And this car thief's completely surrounded. In Los Angeles, police are after 2 suspects fleeing an attempted robbery. Their getaway car has seen better days, but it isn't likely to see a worse one than this. The driver must have failed physics class. But he's just gotten a crash course on the concept of gravity. He decided to go off-roading at just the wrong time, and his car went airborne before plummeting down, turning the jalopy into a twisted pile of metal on the pavement below. Amazingly, the driver's able to run away unscratched, adopting an every man for himself philosophy, leaving his injured accomplice behind in the wreckage. But the fall hasn't made him any smarter. Instead of running for his life, he walks casually away from the accident through a storm drain. He picks up the pace a bit as he enters a local scrapyard. Being surrounded by undrivable wrecks probably reminds him of his fateful crash just a few minutes ago. But it's a dead end for the suspect as the cops have caught up with him. They have the area surrounded and send a canine unit in to sniff him out. Police convince the man to give up, and he's reunited with his accomplice and taken away to answer for their crimes. They started out defying the law. Then they tried to defy gravity. And then he defied the odds and walked away. Now the odds are that his defiance will land him some hard time in jail. This officer has pulled over a driver who decides to try something different from the standard sweet talk.
You give me a ticket, sir, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Instead of apologies, he tries sarcasm.
What are you going for under there? I'm going for my billfold. You think I've got a gun? I don't know what you have, okay?
And instead of flattery, he simply insults the officer.
All you hicks around here, you two guys from a town, you're like, hey, he's got money. I'm going to nail him.
Then the driver pretty much stops listening.
Yes, I do. You haven't even let me finish telling you why I stopped you yet. I'm not interested. Okay. You're going to receive a citation for speeding. I was not speeding. You don't even know where I'm talking about, sir. I am not speeding. I drove all the way up here. It's 8 o'clock this morning.
He transitions from anger to denial.
I'm not speeding.
Even in the face of overwhelming evidence.
You want to see the radar or not? No. The radar don't mean it. Okay. What year is your car? Not 84. It says on the driver's license.
The officer keeps his cool, but applies a little more pressure.
Don't you press it or you're going to go to jail, sir. You got it?
But soon, even he gets a little frustrated.
Wait here, I'll be right back.
Driver pushes the argument to the next level, threatening the officer with disciplinary action. He takes it even further, treating the officer like a child.
I was born and raised here, by the way. And I was driving when you were wetting your pants. That's what I said. You understand that? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Not when your father was. You drive before your father was. Sir, do you want me to try to explain this to you or not? No, I'm not interested. You just give me the goddamn ticket and I'm gone. Okay.
The way he's talking, he'll be lucky to get off with only a ticket.
Also next time? There'll be no next time. Yes, there is a next time. Oh, no, listen to what I'm saying, sir. I'll find out from your boss, and then I'll write a letter. Okay? You bet your life. You think that you, sir? You just stop. I've got news for you. Sir, listen to me, okay? When you're looking in your rearview mirror at me, you better stop next time. You understand that? I wasn't looking at you because I wasn't looking at you. I had to hit the driver and I hit the false lights and everything else.
Putting down the officer didn't work in the driver's favor.
I was born and raised here, by the way. And I was driving when you were wetting your pants.
Maybe next time, he'll try some old-fashioned sweet talk.
Thank you.
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, a drunk gets the spins, a dangerous party crasher, and the end of the line for these bank robbers. The Ohio officer who's pulling over the suspected drunk driver knows that getting him off the road could save a life.
We do up the country club. Chef.
The officer starts the sobriety tests in his cruiser.
I'm going to take your right hand, put it on your chin. The reason I'm going to have you do that is now you follow the very tip of this pen to your eyes.
At first, the driver seems to hold his own. He continues the test outside.
Be able to walk a straight line?
Yeah.
The battery of tests goes on.
Stand on one leg.
But just as the officer realizes that this driver is sober, a true drunk driver finds him, almost taking out the officer and the man he's pulled over. The type of accident he was hoping to prevent has happened before his very eyes.
You all right? Sir, you okay?
The passenger emerges and seems calm enough, but maybe that's because he's had a few beers. The driver, however, is a complete mess and is arrested immediately.
You go to the back of the truck. I'm just trying to help you guys out.
It might seem unlucky to be pulled over by the police, but in this case, the driver didn't know how lucky he was. Not only was he spared from having to share the road with the drunk pair, but the officer also pulled his body out of the way, saving him from the big crash. It's late night in Wisconsin and the police are tailing a car whose driver has ignored their calls to pull over. As he barrels down a quiet street, the police ram their point home. Moments later, he's back on the road. And the bumper car tactics continue. Taking a turn around the corner, even more police join the effort to stop this driver. The cruiser behind him zeroes in on him for another hit. The impact sends the car spinning to a dead standstill, and the chase is over. But the police aren't taking any chances. With one final bump, they have him surrounded. With guns drawn, they move in. Maybe the driver was running to protect his vintage pair of fluffy dice. But all that matters to the police is that this suspect led them on a dangerous chase, and he can't be trusted. This Wisconsin pressed his luck with the police, successfully spinning the wheel. But when he rolled the dice, they just came up snake eyes. These two armed suspects have robbed a bank and are racing down a Los Angeles freeway, leaving police far behind. At this speed, it seems as if the suspects might make their escape. It looks like the crooks might be home free. The traffic in LA today is relatively light. These suspects are about to use up their good luck. With the police miles behind, they decide to make a run for it and dodge cars across the highway before leaping down a 12-foot embankment to freedom. When an officer from the highway patrol finally catches up to the scene of the crash, the men are long gone, but the officers approach with guns drawn in case anyone's left behind. Meanwhile, police have tracked the robbers to this auto body shop. They find one of the suspects hiding inside the garage. The other is taken down in a side alley. The episode ends peacefully after a long and dangerous chase. These suspects were almost in the clear. But a sloppy crash meant they had to continue on foot. But officers caught up with them and cleaned up the mess. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, how much further can this thief push his smoking car? This cruiser stops on a dime. This officer is in grave danger. It's early in the morning in Florida, and police are after this car that's just swerved off the road ahead. They think that this driver might be a little bit drunk. In fact, the driver of this blue car has had 24 cans of beer. As you can see, police are keen on stopping him. But even though he's been rammed by police, he gets away, and the chase is on. His car might be on the verge of falling apart. The 2 cases of beer keep him going. He makes a dangerous turn onto a dusty side street. His vehicle spews even more smoke as he continues to beat up his broken down car. The chase leads cops further and further away from civilization. Looks like he just scraped by this pickup truck. But the car has finally taken enough abuse and gives up the ghost. While his car may have given out, the suspect won't give up, but he's still drunk and an easy target on foot. This chase got off to a smashing start as a smashed driver tore up the road and his car. But after drinking a case of beer and mistaking his jalopy for a hot rod, this guy finally fell flat on his face. You've heard of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. How about solving 2 crimes with 1 chase? On this Alabama highway, crime 1 is a simple traffic violation. Officers had noticed this Jeep Cherokee driving at an unlawfully low speed. When they tried to pull him over, he refused and fled. Now he's weaving in and out of traffic, and police can't figure out why the driver and his accomplice won't stop. When the pursuing officer catches up with them, the driver heads off the highway and straight into a lot of trouble. Amazingly, the 2 men in the car survived without a scratch. The sign must have taken the brunt of the damage. But even with their SUV wrecked, they continue to resist arrest. As they remove the men from the SUV, the police discover why these guys wouldn't pull over. There's 1 more passenger in the car, and he's been dead for days. Crime number 2 turns out to be murder. After a crash like this, anyone in the car would be lucky to be alive. But that hardly matters when one of the passengers is already dead. The 2 guys responsible for this have a lot more to pay for than a traffic ticket. The report of a drunk driver has come in, and this officer is scouring the streets. Sometimes they're not that easy to track down. This officer, however, might be on the right track. This driver gave him just the sign he was looking for. It's beside the point that the driver has cut across lanes of traffic. When you have a traffic sign sticking out of your car, it's a safe bet that you're drunk. It's not clear how the man wound up with a street sign for a hood ornament, but alcohol was probably involved at some stage of the process. The officer approaches the car to investigate.
What's up? What's about for me?
Hardly being able to stand is one reason why a sobriety test isn't necessary.
You okay? How much you have to drink?
And don't forget the very large sign impaled into the car.
Put your hands on the back of the car.
So the officer skips the formalities and arrests him on the spot. It's obvious from the replay this guy didn't see the signs. And after getting arrested, it's a pretty clear sign that he needs to lay off the booze. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, an officer finds trouble. A confrontation on a busy highway. And a suspect gets religion.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Most cops are proud of their uniform, and the officer who's pulled over this car for speeding is particularly well dressed. He's wearing this season's must-have accessory.
Stop, she's doing 88 miles an hour.
The bulletproof vest.
Radio, just been shot!
Even a routine traffic stop like this one can quickly turn into a life-threatening situation.
Stop, she's doing 88 miles an hour.
But not when you're wearing the right outfit. So it's not really clothes that make the man, but clothes that save the man.
Radio, just been shot!
The driver of this SUV has taken a hostage a few miles back and is fleeing from the police. But it looks like he's got a problem. There's traffic ahead. And there's a second problem. His car has stalled. He buys some time by refusing to unlock his doors. Just enough time for him to get his car restarted. One cop tries to run after him, but with so many innocent bystanders around, he's unable to safely get off a shot. Back in their cruisers, the police resume the chase as the truck veers off the main roads. The cops try to cut him off ahead, but he's still able to speed his way through a roadblock. Next, he tests his SUV's capabilities, driving across a bumpy field. Unfortunately for him, his car decides to stall one more time, and the chase is over. Fortunately for police, this time he's forgotten to keep his doors locked. Every once in a while, a police officer
Listen to what I'm saying.
gets a prayer from someone he's pulled over.
No, I don't want a Hail Mary or a Hallelujah. I want to know how long you've been here. Not Hail Mary.
What would you like?
I want your driver's license first of all.
The man may be high on religion, but the cop suspects he's also drunk on
How
alcohol.
much have you had to drink tonight?
And based on the man's answer,
I would put it down to the side. I guess about 6
the officer's right. Even a very basic question,
Do you have a driver's license or not?
repeated for emphasis,
I want to see your driver's license.
doesn't seem to register.
Where is your driver's license? To my left. Where is your driver's license? Where is my driver's license at? To my left. Where to your left? Do you understand what I'm saying? Where is your driver's license? To my left. Where?
The officer tries a different approach.
Have you been to high school, you said? Yeah. Can you say the alphabet straight through from A to Z?
And gets a very different answer.
Let's see. 90, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 199. Let's see. Maybe you make it 190. 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Okay, tell me when you're done, okay? You're done? 100. Are you done? Yes.
This guy might be piously devoted to his religion.
That's good.
But the prayers he offered to the officer
No, I don't want a Hail Mary or a Hallelujah.
would have been better used on himself.
Where's your driver's license? To my left.
Thankfully, this cop has the patience of a saint.
We're not supposed to be comfortable, but I only put it once.
Right now on Hot Pursuit. Can't wait for the show to start? Keep your pants on. Some suspects can be a little rough around the edges. And a stolen car gives new meaning to the term spark plug. In the scenic Virginia countryside, this guy has been pulled over for speeding. The cop is working solo. The driver's alone. But someone or something is waiting in the wings. For now, it's business as usual.
Yes, sir. Big Ridge. Yes.
Before too long, a sinister figure decides it's time to make his presence felt. You've heard the one about why the chicken crossed the road. Well, this time, it's a wild turkey. And he's not coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. First, Tom Turkey decides to show the policeman where he stands in the pecking order. He's just poking his beak in where he's not wanted. But that doesn't seem to discourage him from ruffling the officer's feathers by seriously disrupting the roadside interrogation.
You said a wild turkey jumped in the back of your truck. Get out of here. You kidding me?
Maybe the bird needs some help migrating.
You live in Washington or Virginia?
Well, I live in Washington, just going back.
Speed limit on this road's 50, you're doing 69. Did you know you're going that fast?
The turkey trots away from the pickup, and it looks like the old buzzard has buzzed off.
Where'd you get these logs?
Good Virginia pine.
But when the trooper returns to his own vehicle,
Okay, wait here and I'll be right back, okay?
he finds someone waiting for him.
Get off my car.
Don't adjust your TV. What you're about to see isn't a scene from a nature show.
Okay, this is a citation on your speed. There's mail inform the envelope. Smell the cord and your signature DX.
You know what they say about birds of a feather. This cop has just become friends with his poultry partner. Maybe the bird wanted in on the turkey talk. Perhaps the cop should have brought a jar of cranberry sauce. But one thing's for sure, This story is clearly one for the birds. Once you've already been arrested for drunk driving and taken to the station, resisting arrest doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And this four-eyed felon has picked the wrong cop to mess with. He's ready with a mace and a quick defensive jab to the face. With reinforcements right nearby, it doesn't take long before the guy's restrained. But even outnumbered, he still puts up a fight. Having just inhaled a mace chaser to follow his night of boozing, the drunk doesn't give up. He throws up. When you've had as much to drink as this guy, a tussle like this is enough to make you hurl. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, this police officer confronts the good, the bad, and the naked. This one hits the jackpot.
Man, you got a lot of crack on you, homeboy.
And stealing this car was a bright idea, literally. In the state of Texas, things can get pretty hot, even at night.
Hey. How are you? Pretty good. How are you? Good. Put your car in park. Step on back here with me.
Which is probably why the couple this cop has stopped are driving a convertible. But it looks like the wind blowing through his hair wasn't enough to cool this guy down.
Go ahead and step back here. You don't have your license with you? They're in my pickup. Okay.
Not only is he driving with the top down, but he's also been driving with his pants off.
Well, I say why you going to your clothes, okay. All right. You do this stuff right in the middle of the road all the time?
No. This is the first time for me.
Okay.
Since he wasn't alone, it was probably a little hot inside the car, too. Man's having so much trouble putting his underwear back on, it's pretty clear that this roadside party involved a few drinks, too. So once he's covered up, this sexed-up drunk is given the third degree.
Well, I can smell a pretty strong odor of alcohol on your breath this evening. How much have you had to drink?
Just a couple mixed drinks, to be honest with you.
What kind of mixed drinks were you drinking?
She was drinking beer and I was drinking a Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke? How many of those did you have?
I had a couple.
Okay.
So after a little nightcap to get them in the mood, things got a little steamy.
Like you were on a driveway or a county road or something. You're out here on the stop in the middle of the highway.
I know it was a stupid-ass mistake.
Okay.
Now he'll have to get physical in a way he wasn't hoping for.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick look at your eyes. Just put your right foot in front of your left foot, touching heel to toe. Nope. Don't start taking steps. I just want you to stand like this right here with your right foot in front of your left. Keep your arm at your side. I'm going to explain the instructions, then I'm going to tell you to begin the test. Okay? Don't start until I tell you. Go ahead and stand your right foot in front of your left. I'm going to have you to take 9 heel-to-toe steps towards my patrol car.
The officer certainly isn't impressed by his performance.
I was playing on the right.
Okay. No feet touching heel-to-toe. Wrong turn.
So he brings the proceedings to an abrupt climax.
Okay. Mr. Allen, it's very apparent that you're intoxicated this evening. Okay, you've had way too much to drink to be out here driving.
He's thinking that handcuffs would have been a lot more fun with his girlfriend.
Going straight to the house.
Well, you wasn't going straight enough to the house. Go ahead and let go of your hand. I'll get you one. You can put it on when we get us to jail.
But pretty soon she's in bondage too. At which point the threesome all retire to the privacy of the officer's squad car. Alcohol is said to lower inhibitions. But when it comes to drunk test dummies, a little bit of booze often makes it a whole lot easier to get to the naked truth. The officer pulling these two guys over smells something funny going on. He can't prove anything yet, so he starts questioning the two suspects.
How you doing, sir? Right at the door.
It only takes a few seconds of talking before the officer realizes what he's smelling. He gets right to the point.
There's marijuana in the car? No, there's marijuana in the car? Yes, sir. I smell marijuana. No, sir. There's not marijuana in the car. There's some marijuana in there.
The first guy isn't any help at all, so the officer searches the second suspect for a hidden package.
You got something in the car? Okay. Okay, right here.
He takes off,
519, got one running.
abandoning both the cop and his supposed innocence, which gives his friend the opportunity to retrieve the drugs from the car and toss them to the side of the road.
Here behind you now, boy.
Before coming back and posing casually for the policeman's camera. But the plan is a complete failure.
Man, you got a lot of crack on you, homeboy. A bunch of crack.
Not only was his drug ditch caught on film,
You almost got shot.
but his recently caught partner is loaded to the gills with crack cocaine.
Hey, homeboy, you're in some trouble. That's a lot of dope, my man. A whole bunch of dope.
It looks like the officers just about wrap this one up. All that's left for him to do is cart these two dopes away to the station for processing. Now it's time for them to spend a little time in the joint.
Dan, he said there's a bag of weed behind the car somewhere, 10 yards behind the vehicle.
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, we go from perp walks to the catwalk.
Yes, Mr. Police Officer.
This guy goes for a spin. And a hot pursuit gets really hot. It all starts with a missing seatbelt.
How you doing? Your driver's license and insurance? You step out for me, please, sir? You leave your cigarette on the inside, please? Okay. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Was I doing something wrong?
Yes, sir. I didn't see your seatbelt on when you come through the
But the
light there.
seatbelt is just pretense. The cop has a feeling this guy is under the influence.
Where are you coming from tonight?
Friend's house over here, you know where the racetrack is, the old racetrack, and that new trailer park they put on the other side?
Mm-hmm. Not over there.
The trailer park is a red flag. In this town, it's a hotbed of criminal activity.
Okay. You haven't been consuming any alcohol tonight?
No, sir.
The cop can tell this guy's intoxicated, but it's not clear what sorts of substances are making him tipsy tonight. To be safe, he decides to run a quick check. The suspect cools his jets in his car.
On air, Class C, valid. Expiration 03-11-99.
Checking your license through the computer, they tell me that you don't have any violations or restrictions on them.
Yes,
Nothing that would keep you from driving, so what I did was write you a warning ticket, like I told you. It don't cost you nothing.
Oh.
The driver probably thinks he's getting off easy, but the cop still has his
Let me
doubts.
ask you something here before you go on. And of course, certainly I'm not accusing you of being part of this activity if you're not, okay? But here in the county, I come in contact with vehicles and people that are transporting contraband. Are you familiar with what contraband is?
Yeah, I know.
Guns?
A year ago, I got in some trouble. No, I'm not, sir.
You ain't carrying anything illegal? What kind of guns, drugs?
No guns, no, sir.
Okay, do you mind if I search it real quick for contraband?
Search me.
The vehicle? And, well, yeah, you in the vehicle. You're the only one in it. Is anybody else in there besides you? Okay.
The search quickly turns up a small knife, some lint, and a key.
Anything else in these stuff?
The officer is courteous, calm, and collected, but it's all a charade. He knows if he just holds on, this jittery Joe will give something up in no time flat. And sure enough, there's something in his front pocket.
Oh, you got something in there. Pull it out.
He sure does. A small bag of marijuana, and he's not giving it up easily.
Don't argue with them, both sides, okay? I'll try behind your back, right now.
But stoned and a little slow, he's in no shape to outrun the cops. The officer's partner easily tracks him down and brings him back. Chalk this bust up to the power of police intuition, because when this smart cop sized up the driver, he knew something was going down. Playing the good cop and just waiting a little bit gave him all the time he needed to let this guy hang himself. And once a quick search gave up the goods, the drug-running driver made a run for it himself. From a drug-running dummy to a drunk-driving diva, this lovely young lady is a far cry from the criminal element normally seen on tape. She walks the line with the shimmy of a fashion model. But rather than trying to score a modeling contract, she's taking on a sobriety test. It'll take more than just her good looks if she wants to avoid a 3-month suspension of her license.
Raise your arms out to your side with your palms up. Tilt your head back and close your eyes. Now raise your right leg up.
After a quick run-through, she's ready for her close-up.
Your index or pointing fingers out.
It's my girlfriend, Lauren.
Your index fingers, pointing finger, first finger.
This.
Tilt your head back and close your eyes. Okay.
She even has a flair for the dramatic.
Go to the top board behind you.
Yes, Mr. Police Officer.
And write your name on it like you normally sign your checks.
I sure will.
This supermodel is a super speller, at least when it comes to her own name.
Now draw a circle. A square. And a triangle.
Now she steps back to admire her handiwork and to work her charms on the cop.
I
didn't want to hear it.
Failure to submit to the test will result in a suspension of your driving privilege.
In talk.
First refusal of
The officer somehow resists her feminine wiles, but still asks her to spend the night in jail.
No comment.
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, here's one threat you don't want followed through. And get ready for the biggest fireworks since July 4th. Jet skis are meant for speeding along the water. Today, however, cops are chasing a guy for towing his jet ski above the land speed limit. At a stop, he gives a clear signal to the officer. Back off. And now we have a full-fledged chase on our hands. Another cop waits down the road in an ambush. As he comes by, the cops are ready and waiting for him. So they ram him and the jet ski. It's just the kind of threat you'd expect from someone who just tried to rear-end a cop. The officer behind the wheel of this cruiser is waiting for the chase to come to him. Pretty soon it does, and he's joined the pursuit of a local car thief. Starts to catch up, and by the time he does, police have already hit the suspect's tires with a spike strip. Looks like the strip has done its job. This fireworks display suggests that the entire front end of the vehicle has collapsed. It's metal on pavement lighting up the night sky. The ensuing shower of sparks looks impressive and gives the police an additional advantage. With this much pyrotechnic splendor surrounding his car, it's almost impossible for him to get away. He is, after all, the only car on the road that's on fire. Pretty soon, he's not on the road at all. And to add insult to injury, the heat is so intense that the car's floorboards have caught fire. It's quite literally a hot pursuit.
Okay, we got the traffic.
Which is probably why the guy decides to dump old Sparky and hot-foot it out of here. From another angle, we can see that he doesn't get very far.
Okay, we got the traffic.
This mad dash for the fence is the suspect's last stand. And now that the cops have him pinned, he'll have some free time to cool down. Right now on Hot Pursuit, a housewife gets really desperate. This guy has a hard time parking his vehicle. And one car decides to do a little off-roading. In Michigan, no one thinks the suspect in this black Ford Explorer is going to get away, except maybe the suspect himself. When a state trooper tried to pull him over to check a suspicious license plate, he floored it. It's only a 2-lane highway, and he's covering as much of it as possible. But the cops are on him like glue. Suspect's wanted for felony home invasion, so cops aren't too surprised to see him make a run for it. Stuck on a narrow road with no way to pass on the left, the suspect tests the handling ability of his SUV. He must think he's in the clear. But not for long. All this weaving in and out of traffic is putting everybody around him in serious jeopardy. So the cops quickly pull to the left to try to wreck this guy's chances of getting away. Must not be wearing his seatbelt. He's clinging to that door for dear life. Luckily, the only thing this crash ruined was some poor guy's lawn. At first, this suspect handled his SUV like a professional race car driver. But when push came to shove, he really flipped out. In Houston County, Georgia, Deputy Chad Payne pulls over a guy who's been on a long, strange road trip.
Where you going today? I'm going to Tallahassee to see my niece. I'm going to Tallahassee to pick my niece up and bring her back to North Carolina for the holidays. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So you got in the vehicle with you there? Two guys. Anthony drives. Johnny and, he don't drive. One guy don't drive. He ain't got no license. He just riding with you? Yeah.
All right, so he's got no name and no license. So what's he doing hanging out with these guys?
Is that Johnny in the front? Yeah. Hold on, let me talk to Johnny. So I can get them papers from him.
Deputy Payne can sense that something ain't right.
How you doing? Where y'all going today? Dyke. What's your name? Your name's Ricky. What's this fellow's name? Henry? Okay.
Ricky must be a case of mistaken identity, or they just can't get their lies straight. But they're sure gonna try.
I should have told you one lie. My story don't work, and that's it right there. That's the end of this whole situation.
Well, you told me your boy's name was Johnny.
Johnny Ricky Talbot. Johnny Ricky.
He told me Ricky.
Yeah, middle name. I call him Johnny. Yeah, same thing.
That kind of confused me a little bit.
Oh yeah.
He said y'all was going to Jacksonville.
Eventually we will. Tallahassee first. My mother lived, my mother's name Lois Bloodworth, she lived in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
Right. My niece lives in Tallahassee. We're going there, then we're going to Jacksonville. Picking up my niece and my daughter, and I'm bringing them back.
Let's hope someone in the car is writing this all down.
Do you like animals?
I like it. I'm selling cars and doing lawn service business, and it's quaint. You got to go looking for trouble, and I like that. I like it. Yeah. No, I like it.
They got a drug problem down there?
Not too bad. They cleaned it up. Good.
Drugs? This guy's just visiting his niece, right?
What I'm going to do is write you a warning here.
Yes, sir.
For failure to maintain your lane properly.
I'll give y'all permission to search the vehicle if y'all want it. You got my permission. You got my permission on the thing, so it ain't like I'm trying to hide that. Okay?
What makes you think I was going to ask to search your vehicle?
I don't care. I'm giving you permission. God is good to me, man. Good. Okay.
You don't have any guns, drugs, weapons, nothing like that on your person, do you?
No, sir. None whatsoever.
Talk about reverse psychology. Offering to let the police search your car? That's a first.
How much you got there?
About $600 right there. Give me a little money.
I heard that. How much you got there?
All together, should be like $1,400.
All together?
Yeah.
You always keep it rolled up like this?
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, you know, yes, sir.
Why are you so nervous?
He's a nervous guy, that's all. Just ask his buddy Ricky. Johnny. Ricky. Whatever.
Come on out here for me, partner. What's your name? Ricky. What's your first name?
Ricky.
What's your middle name?
Ricky.
What you got in your mouth? What you got in your mouth? Who you live in? Hold your tongue up. Hold your tongue up. Hold your tongue up or I'm going to put you in jail.
But this guy isn't interested in submitting to an oral examination.
Spit it out. Spit it out. You stand still. Stand still. Why are you trying to eat the dope on me?
Finally, Deputy Payne and a fellow officer take up the guy's offer to search the vehicle. And it's chock full of drugs. These guys couldn't figure out where they were going.
Where y'all going today?
Well, to Tallahassee to see my niece.
I heard y'all was going to Jacksonville.
Eventually we will. Tallahassee first.
Luckily, this deputy helped them out. They're going to jail. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, criminals are always blazing new trails. There's more than just junk in this trunk. And a stay-at-home mom gives the police a piece of her mind. Shenandoah, Texas. Robert Monroe Coleman was spotted in a red pickup truck, stealing tools from cars parked at a local shopping center. When he took off, the police took up the chase, but in a daring move, the suspect slipped out of sight. This white police pickup crosses the median to cover more ground, because the cops are on the lookout. Where is Coleman? There he is. Now that he's back in their sights, the chase is really on. This is no petty thief. In addition to the stolen loot, he's in a hot car. That truck was reported stolen 3 days ago. The pursuit leaves Shenandoah's main streets and heads onto I-45 south, accelerating up to 90 miles an hour. Coleman would go faster, but he's loaded down with more tools than a hardware store. He looks in his side view mirror and sees police units pulling up on the left. It's time to give up the goods. He puts his hand in the air, either to wave surrender or to give the cops a one-fingered salute. But the cops aren't taking any chances and approach with guns drawn. After all, this guy might have a stolen hammer. For extra protection, they bring in one tough member of the K-9 unit. Coleman finally gives up, and within seconds, he's on the pavement. This handyman thought it was tool time, but cops were on the scene to throw a wrench in the works. It's a quiet night in this leafy Oklahoma suburb, and cops are pursuing the driver of this SUV.
We're now stopping for me on that Sunset and Ethnic North Town.
There's no dangerous criminal behind the wheel, just one very desperate housewife. Sirens and lights have had no effect, so cops try a little gentle persuasion.
Pull over! Pull over!
But the lady gives cops the cold shoulder. The officers are at a loss. What's driven this domestic diva to drive like a lunatic?
Can't figure out. She's doing about 40 miles an hour westbound here.
The chase slows down as the female suspect pulls up onto her front lawn.
You gotta put your hands down! No, it's not a gun, it's not a gun, it's not a gun. It's a car phone. It's a car phone.
What did the woman think she could do with her phone? Text message the cops to death? She's finally restrained. And the officers are relieved.
There's a damn car phone. Just back up field for it.
The officer who spotted the phone gets a hearty congrats from his buddy. His sharp eyes narrowly prevented a shootout. This bad mother wouldn't pull over.
Pull over!
And then pulled out her cell phone. But in the end, the police shut her mouth. In North Carolina, a terrifying ordeal is nearing an end. 3 suspects led police on a high-speed pursuit after carjacking and kidnapping a woman by the name of Tabitha Chan. They forced her to empty her bank account at ATMs along the way. But now, after crashing into a fire hydrant, the chase has come to a stop. 2 of the suspects have already bailed, leaving just one in the car. As the police surround the vehicle, they pull out the one remaining suspect. So the big question is, where is Tabitha? Maybe one of the missing suspects has her, or maybe she was tossed out of the car. Luckily, one cop thinks to search the trunk. But he can't get it open. Finally, the trunk is popped. Inside, just the woman they were looking for. She's scared, but otherwise unharmed. That must have been a view of the car she never planned on seeing. Luckily, the other 2 suspects were found and arrested before they could strike again. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, look out, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. A K-9 unit smells something suspicious and delicious. And remember, most accidents happen within 10 miles of home. In Jackson, Georgia, it's a day at the races for one suspected car thief. Right now, he's pulled over, but just because he's waiting for the starting gun. On your mark, get set. Hey, he didn't wait for go. The thieves hightail it, getting an early head start. But the officer has one advantage. Good old Georgia horsepower. Another cruiser watches the action from the fast lane. The first cop isn't about to let this guy cheat and get away with it. He's closed the gap and gets ready to end the race once and for all. It's a picture-perfect pit maneuver. The real owner will soon get his car back, but probably not in the condition he wanted. More officers reach the scene just in time for the checkered flag. They want to congratulate their star driver for his come-from-behind victory. The suspect is outnumbered, apprehended, and later brought down to the station. He came in dead last, thanks to a different kind of pit stop. Did somebody order a pizza? If so, your order might be a little late. This delivery guy was caught speeding, attracting the attention of the cops and an unexpected visitor. Maybe it's the smell of hot pepperoni. Maybe he's auditioning for a job with the K-9 unit. But the policeman isn't interested. He doesn't need a partner. Most dogs like sticking their heads out the window. This one likes to stick his head in. Can you arrest a dog for interfering with official police work? The cop decides to call the local firehouse. Maybe they're missing their Dalmatian. This is one determined pooch. He'll do anything for a slice of pizza. If only the delivery guy had a doggy bag. As the cop returns to give the driver a ticket, man's best friend is getting on his last nerve. Not only will your pizza be late, it'll also be covered with paw prints. Finally, the driver can get back to delivering pizzas. The cop later took the dog back to the owner's house and found 100 other Dalmatians just like him. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, competition for a parking space gets really intense, and a suspect hears the call of the wild. It's the middle of the night in Baytown, Texas, and officers have pulled over a man wanted in connection with a vicious stabbing incident.
Driver, tear up the vehicle!
But he doesn't want to hear it.
Driver, tear up your vehicle and throw your keys out!
The suspect has no regard for the law. He's out of here. He leads the police through Baytown's empty streets. This guy might be armed, and the cops aren't about to let him get away. The good thing about chases like this is that lots of cops are around to help out. Slipping past all of them, the suspect finds himself in a residential parking lot. The only problem? There's no way out. Unless he lives here, there's no way he's getting home. Trying to avoid the cruiser, he smashes into a parked car. With cops on either side of him, he's pinned. As officers approach with weapons drawn, it's time for this guy to say goodnight. It's not even 5 o'clock in the morning, and already cops in Pflugerville, Texas, have their first suspect of the day.
Stopping on that black Locust. We've been going for 3 blocks, not speeding, but continuing to drive. Starting to pull over at the curb now. I don't know if he's going to stop. Looks like he's stopping there.
The driver has ignored the cops so far. Maybe he just wanted to enjoy the scenery. But only for a second.
Unit 40 is taking off. We're going to have a pursuit now.
The suspect was originally wanted for driving in the wrong lane. Now he can add fleeing the police to the list. He turns onto a main road, but then decides to become one with nature.
Unit 40, we're in a pasture now. We've gone through a fence.
The suspect is more comfortable off the road than on.
Just took another fence down.
But a truck that big leaves big tracks. That makes it easy for cops to stay on his trail. A barbed wire fence is no match for the cruiser, but the muddy field makes staying straight a challenge.
Okay, he's bailing on me. He's bailing on me. He's bailing.
He should have stayed in his truck. Cops later found the suspect stuck in the mud, not far from his car. This guy tried to get away from it all, looking for a quiet spot in the country. But once cops caught him, they brought him back to civilization. Right now on Hot Pursuit, a suspect puts on her dancing shoes. If you're going the wrong way, don't be afraid to ask an officer to straighten you out. And need to get a suspect off the road? A gentle push will do the trick. Pima County, Arizona. The young driver ahead refused to pull over, and now the sheriff's office is in pursuit. This guy's whipping through tight rush hour traffic at crazy speeds, but he doesn't care. Why? Maybe he's crazy. He keeps weaving through the traffic, finding openings in the most unlikely places. Somehow, though, the deputy stays right on his tail. This guy just can't stay away from the wrong side of the road. It looks like he's got a death wish, and it's the deputy's job to make sure his wish doesn't come true. His job's about to get a whole lot harder. The suspect powers over to the wrong side of the freeway and speeds down the shoulder. Luckily for himself and the safety of the drivers around him, he turns off before anyone gets hurt. He flies blindly through intersection after intersection, just looking for trouble. Looks like he's found it. He loses control, smashing into a parked van. Maybe he's a better runner than a driver. Looks like we'll never find out, since the deputy is able to take him into custody. This lightning-fast loser put lives at risk trying to lose the cops, but in the end, he just lost his car, not to mention his freedom. In Jacksonville, Texas, the cops are chasing a fugitive who's been seen speeding and running red lights. Oh yeah, and driving on the wrong side of the road.
Trying to stop for traffic. We're coming up on Denise.
running traffic off the road.
After getting his tires blown out by spike strips, he careened off the road before ditching the car entirely.
Jack with black male, blue shirt.
Now officers have no idea where he is, and it's up to them to bring him in. He could be anywhere, so the officers are playing it safe. In addition to having a search team out on foot, there are also camera-equipped cruisers prowling for the hiding hood. Finally, the police have apprehended the suspect. But now that he's in custody, their job is just beginning. This guy is wound up, and he won't shut up.
Jimmy, pull your foot over here.
Give me your feet, okay?
Man, you ain't getting, look at you hurting me, man. We're not trying to... Okay, watch out.
Damn!
You ready?
No, man. Look at you so...
Jimmy, you ain't gave us no choice, Chief.
What?
Yeah,
Man, you didn't have to give me no... Say, dog.
You'd think that after a relaxing drive to the station, the suspect would have had some time to cool down. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to take more than just time to get this guy under control.
Why don't nobody understand me?
Come on, Jimmy, step out.
Why don't nobody understand me? I don't want to help, man. I don't want to help.
Go ahead.
I want to help.
Strip him down, put him in a cell, empty cell. Already working on that, boss. Come on, Jimmy.
I'm sick of this.
Come on, man.
I'm sick of it.
Jimmy, come on, slide out. Jimmy, slide on this way.
Oh.
After a breakneck car chase and a desperate game of hide-and-seek, this fugitive was pushed way beyond his limits and completely lost control. Luckily for him, he'll receive the help he clearly needs now that he's in custody.
You gotta help yourself first.
Yep, come on, Jimmy, watch step up. Come on.
Why, man?
It's late afternoon in Knoxville, Tennessee. Do you know where your children are? Hopefully not in the care of Jennifer Reddy, a drunk school bus driver currently being subjected to a sobriety test.
When I tell you to begin, lift your foot 6 inches off the ground, look at your foot, and count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, and so on until I tell you to stop. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand all the instructions that I've given you?
Yes.
Can you repeat them to me?
I have to hold up my foot.
How many inches?
6 inches.
6 inches.
And count 1001, 1002.
Until when?
Until you stop.
Until I tell you to stop. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead and begin. Count aloud for me.
1.
All right.
All right,
Well,
you know I'm drunk.
okay.
I'm drunk. I can't...
We'll move on to another one. Let's see if we can find a,
I'm not going to pretend I'm drunk.
At least she's honest.
I'm not a bad girl, I promise.
No, not bad at all, unless you consider driving drunk with a busload of kids to be bad.
Well, this ground isn't perfectly level, but I think it'll suffice. It'll suffice for what we're going to try to do, okay?
Okay.
I want you to place one foot in front of the other, just like I've got right there. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and stand that way. All right? Keep your hands down by your side, and don't begin any part of the test until I tell you to do so. Do you understand that? Just stand there and watch me, okay? When I tell you to begin, I didn't tell you to start.
I know, but I'm doing good.
Go back to the beginning.
The kids on her bus are probably better behaved.
Let's go back, okay?
I'm doing good.
Stand here, Jennifer, okay? You need to take this very seriously,
All right, yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
This suspect really puts the high into high school. Not surprisingly, she was arrested. Her school bus driving days behind her.
You know I'm drunk.
Okay.
I'm drunk.
She was charged with DUI. Driving, make that dancing under the influence. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, sometimes bad drivers meet the cops head on. So look out for bumper-to-bumper traffic. Sometimes the police can be very helpful. For instance, these guys usually have to hotwire a car in order to steal it. But luckily for them, the cops left the keys in plain sight.
Oh, got keys in it?
That's because it's a police bait car.
How much gas do I got? I don't know. Full tank.
You can thank the cops later, buddy, while they're arresting you.
This is crazy. What? Just sit right there for us. This car? This is mine. No. I got, man, this is mine. Give me the car.
Actually, it belongs to the police department.
Yep, hasn't even opened yet. You what? Hasn't even opened yet. No way. Open that up.
It's a perfect time for a toast.
Good pull over now. You got a license? Nope.
No license and no clue either.
You can drink? Huh? Yeah.
The boys discuss how to pimp their ride. But it already has some features they don't know about. The hidden camera's one, and an engine that can be disabled remotely. They're about to find out about that one right now.
Ooh, ran out of gas. Huh? What? How do you know? Oh, look at the cops. Oh,
Hold the door now!
Well, back. What happened? I don't know.
Isn't it obvious? You stole a car.
Driver,
Yeah.
open the door. Keep your hands up. Step out. Keep your hands up. Up. Get away from me.
One underage car thief down, one more to go.
Passenger, step out.
Yes, sir.
In Quitman, Texas, state troopers have been trailing this white SUV. So far, the female driver has refused to pull over, even though the trooper has been flashing his lights and blaring his siren for 6 miles. It's not easy to escape the police when you're the only car on the road. It's even harder to escape when you park your car in your own driveway. The perfect opportunity for this trooper to make his voice heard.
State police, let me see your hands now! Open the door slowly! Keep your hands where I can see them! Step out of the vehicle now! Turn around, do not face me!
She might not have listened before, but now she obeys some complex instructions.
Keep on, stop! Get down on your knees now! Cross your legs!
There's no place like home. As one trooper restrains her, another checks out the SUV.
Anybody else in the vehicle? Anybody else in the vehicle?
All this lady did was drive a little too fast on the main road. But now that she's home, she's being arrested for a whole lot more.
How come you didn't stop?
Because if I was afraid that you were not a real policeman.
I'm in a marked police car with red and blue lights.
Yes, sir.
I've been behind you with a siren for like 6 miles.
I know that, sir.
You're under arrest. Do not come out here. Stop right there.
Who knows what took him so long, but the woman's husband wanders out to see what all the commotion is.
Stay where you're at. I don't care who you are. You're just standing there.
Looks like he'll have to cook his own dinner tonight. An officer explains the situation.
I got behind her coming out of Quitman. She was all over the road. I went to stop her. She wouldn't stop. She's under arrest for evading arrest in motor vehicle. She didn't know you were police. She passed me, sir. How did she not know I was police? I'm in a marked state trooper car. She went around me. She's going to jail.
This lady refused to believe that the cops were really cops. One night in jail should probably convince her. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, things get moving in the wrong direction. So hop on, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. A police officer races down a North Carolina highway, rapidly closing in on a suspect's car. Nothing too unusual. Only this time the dangerous driver is racing towards the cop. An 80-year-old woman was seen driving the wrong way down the highway. She shouldn't be too hard to spot, but officers need to find her before she drives head-on into another vehicle. The car ahead changes lanes, not to let the cop pass, but to get out of Granny's way. As she approaches, the officer pulls right in front of her, lights flashing and sirens blaring. Luckily, it's enough to get her attention, and an accident's avoided. Sympathetic cops check in on the elderly driver. She's okay, but a little scared.
Just calm down a little bit. It'll be all right. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. Somebody could have.
Cops make sure her car is facing the right way. Her terrifying ordeal is over. She wasn't arrested, but instead was sent to the DMV for a much-needed driving test. Some old ladies need a Boy Scout to help them cross the road, but this one needed a police officer to point her in the right direction. This pickup truck offers the perfect opportunity for a supervisor to train a younger officer.
Jimmy, get on your PA and talk to that boy. Tell the reason with him on your PA and get him to stop.
But this driver isn't in the mood to listen to reason. He pulls off the road. Only to peel out and take off. The chase is back on. The suspect may have thought he could get a head start in the cops, but they have one huge advantage.
Shot his truck.
That head start doesn't mean a whole lot with one tire already blown. Still, he's not ready to give up, even with the cops right behind him.
I'm telling you, I shot that boy. Look at him bobbing.
Like an injured animal, the car limps down the road. He's determined to get away. Pretty soon it becomes clear that the truck's driving days are over.
He's coming to a stop.
Get ready.
The cops wait to see the suspect's next move. He stumbles out of his truck, still hoping he can escape. But with 4 officers pursuing on foot, he's quickly apprehended.
Down on the ground, man. Come on, down on the ground.
He's arrested, but not before putting up a big fight.
You got hit, huh?
Oh, he punched the f*** out of me. Hit my unit, too.
You need a kidney?
No, I'm all right. I'm dizzy, though. Somebody's got to draw me.
This suspect's getaway was foiled by a quick-thinking policeman, but they weren't quick enough to avoid all of his punches. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, nobody likes a backseat driver. And the cops take this guy's car out for a little spin. In Bedford, Virginia, an officer is making a routine traffic stop.
Registration, driver's license with you? No, I have with you. What's your name?
What could make this situation worse? That'll do the trick. He's forgotten to take his license and registration on his drive, but he didn't forget to take along this cop. No one was harmed. The driver stopped moments later when the officer pointed his weapon through the truck's open window. If this guy's lucky, he'll have a new window in jail. In Minneapolis, a cop waits to join the pursuit of a man named Irving Cook, who quickly speeds by with 3 cruisers already on his tail. Cook has 4 previous DUI convictions and 1 for second-degree manslaughter. The officer pulls out and joins the chase. It's 4 against 1. At these high speeds, it doesn't take long before he's caught up with his colleagues. But just as he joins in, the chase takes a drastic and dangerous turn. The truck has driven across the median and now faces oncoming traffic. Without hesitating, the deputy pulls across too, hoping to prevent an innocent driver from getting killed by this drunk. The pit maneuver does the trick. Well, sort of. At least the truck's finally pointed in the right direction. Cook's drunk driving has killed before. Cops aren't going to let him do it again. But as he speeds down the interstate at speeds of up to 95 miles per hour, cops are afraid that this suspect might get the best of them. There's no time to waste. Every inch of road this drunk drives on is 1 inch too many. As he exits the interstate, the brave officer moves in once more. But still, the pit doesn't work. Cook spins around, but doesn't stop. He gets a second wind and speeds off down the icy road. This time, the chase moves through a residential street. Not exactly the safest place for a speeding drunk driver. Finally, Cook sobers up and pulls over, just in case he has any thoughts about taking off. The cops box him in. This drunk driver refused to learn his lesson. In the end, the cops ram the point home.
Right now, on Hot Pursuit, we salute dumb drivers across the land. A deadly slip-up in icy Alaska. A good old boy who doesn't have the smarts to know when to call it quits. And an Ohioan so dangerously dumb, he needs the police to teach him a little lesson. Cops in Kentucky's Warren County figure it's just another day on the job. They're trying to serve an arrest warrant on a rat named Russell. No biggie, right? Wrong. The fugitive screeches off from his home. The cops don't realize that Russell the Muscle is packing a loaded pistol and will open fire just to stay out of prison. Russell's driving like a lunatic into oncoming traffic.
Dangerous as hell. Just like a prayer for us, okay?
Officers lay down a spike strip near the bridge ahead. Russell blows holes in 3 of his 4 tires. Does he stop? Nah, he still has one good one. He's so far ahead, the police are just chasing his dust. Fortunately, these are trained officers. Once they catch up, they'll be ready for just about anything this guy can throw at them. Their day just keeps getting worse. Russell hustles directly into their path.
Or he's about to lose it.
These officers know this sort of driving often leads to a crash. Russell's not crazy enough to keep fleeing cops in a wobbling smoke bomb, right? Wrong.
All four tires are out. He's still trying to run, though. He can't go much longer.
The cops have their hands tied when it comes to safely getting a guy like this off the road. Their motto? Don't provoke trouble. Just let the bad guys run out of steam and give up. Their worst fear is about to come true. The desperado fires at the cops, who start shooting right back. The gunman then tosses a citizen out of his car, and now he takes off again. This is no job for the faint of heart, and after this long and drawn-out chase, the cops are in no mood to play nice.
Go, go, go! Get this forward, bowling green shot forward, he's in another vehicle! Get this
Right now, not a single cop on the chase has a clue where the fugitive is heading in such a hurry. With high stakes like these, the police know Russell wants to get away. But where is he trying to get to? The answer to that question makes no sense at all. Why, Russell is roaring to the home of his former employer. The boss isn't there and the place is empty, so the police don't have to worry about a possible hostage situation. Still, Russell needs some kind of shelter for his last holdout against the cops, and this seems as good as ever. This is so weird, we've got to see it again from another camera. Russell takes a hard right into the old boss's McMansion. He runs inside and holds off Kentucky's finest for the next 4 days. Do they call in the National Guard? Nah, they wait for him to throw out his gun and face 5 attempted murder charges. Let's recap this case of dangerous dumb. He started by trying to crash out of an arrest warrant. Shot at a half-dozen officers. Raced a stolen car to the suburbs to hole up for 4 days. And now he faces years behind bars, reliving this very bad day. Goodbye, Kentucky. Hello, Columbus, Ohio, for the goofier side of dumb crime. How did this unlucky carjacker get this vehicle? Well, first, he leapt in front of it. Then he was knocked down by it. Finally, he crawled inside it and roared off when the driver got out to see if he was hurt. No, we are not kidding. And yes, patrolmen are wondering if he's a nut job. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there is something wrong with stealing cars. Still, how crazy this guy really is remains to be seen. It's a bad omen that when he realizes he'll never outrun the law on pavement, he goes off-road instead. Happy Jack must be zoning back to a schoolyard game of Catch Me If You Can. Not a good idea. The police have no idea what this maniac is capable of. They catch him and taser him, just to be safe. One whiff of Happy Jack and it's obvious he's no lunatic. He's just drunk, so he gets hauled off to jail instead of the asylum. It doesn't get much dumber than a carjacker who tries to outrun, then dance around the law. He found out the hard way that officers know when it comes to nuts, don't crack them, just zap them. Still ahead on Hot Pursuit, safety goes south up in the Great White North. This kid leaves his friends and the cops behind. Plus, find out why wet roads and high-speed chases don't mix. right, a one bad dad. He doesn't play Grand Theft Auto as a video game. He's out doing the real thing with a trusted buddy as his lookout.
We got cops for that.
No. Saying no is his son. This is dumb meeting sad. Pop just stole a police bait car with a hidden camera.
Watch everything. Don't put your fingerprints. I ain't putting fingerprints.
Teach a kid to read the Constitution, conjugate verbs, or steal wheels. Sounds like this father has made his share of dumb decisions. At least his kid is smart enough to worry about the car.
We gotta get it! Yeah, we're running empty.
This is a scene cops really hate. Many have kids of their own and know this parenting style is plain wrong. But for Bad Dad, it's just another happy family fun day.
Some music on my... Hey, I ain't gonna touch.
Looks like this kid knows all about incriminating evidence, probably from watching Law and Order. Next, Dad gives a lesson on unloading evidence.
I know where we're hiding. Nah, we're driving a leg. Nah, we're gonna hide it with.
So stealing cars is fine as long as you hide the evidence? Not according to the law.
We'll come pick it up tomorrow, okay?
Enough of this junior grade crime, Pop. Bump it up to advanced level.
Well, take whatever you can, fool. I'm looking for take everything you can, fool. You want me to jump to the back? Yeah, check everything, fool.
Teach his son to break the law and keep calling him fool? We all know the real fool here. If Dad's so smart, why is he insulting his kid instead of watching the rearview mirror?
Man, I'm going to juvenile, nigga. I ain't ready to go to juvenile, fool. Nah, we're just gonna run, fool. You're gonna run, I'm gonna chill. Are you ready to run? Because I'm ready with you. You coming over here? Yep.
Bragging aside, Bad Dad could now pull over, give up, and ask the cops to cut Junior a break, but not this lowlife. His example, more dumb defiance.
Yeah, let's run. Let's do it right now. He's behind us, so him. Yeah, you're gonna run.
Bad Dad doesn't know his son will be offered help from social services, and he's slammer bound. All he knows is the game's up.
I know we can't go nowhere. That's a helicopter. I know we're. I know. Don't please. I'm a kid. Please.
This bust is a real tearjerker. Parents out there, look away and hum a song.
Hands up! Hands up! Run! Don't you want me to like it?
How many people are in the vehicle? Just you two?
What?
Get out and get on the ground. Lay down on the ground right now.
I don't know how to like it.
He who breaks into a car should know how to get out of it. That's Grand Theft Auto 101. Hope for his son's sake that the acorn sometimes does fall far from the tree. It's a rainy night in, well, Richfield, Ohio, where wet roads aren't the only problem for local police officers. They're about to come face to face with an armed carjacker who's turned his vehicle into a deadly weapon. Richfield's finest are trained to bring high-risk dummies like this to a thumping stop, so this guy's odds don't look good. But luck's on his side. Laying spike strips in his path doesn't put him down, and the cops' failed attempts at a rolling roadblock must make him feel unstoppable. The situation goes from bad to worse. Boxed in by cruisers, a police SUV then pulls alongside, coming dangerously close to the path of oncoming traffic. With roads this wet, police need to think not only about their own driving, but also the safety of innocents on the road. Just off camera, the worst almost happens. The vicious felon sideswipes the police SUV, nearly knocking it directly into a head-on with an oncoming 18-wheeler. With one officer out of this chase, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy, and one of them goes for broke. There's an official name at Police Academy for what he's about to do. At times, officers have called this maneuver the trunk tickle, naughty nudge, or its more common name, the pit maneuver. Is Dumbelina deterred by Richfield's finest flip of fate? No, he abandons the hijacked car and makes a run for it. Adrenaline still pumping, the men in blue soon out-sprint the driver. In Fast Rewind, consider how this fella hijacked a car, refused to pull over, then committed vehicular assault. Police later discovered the suspect was armed. This guy brought a loaded weapon out on the road. Luckily, the cops unloaded it for him. Ahead on Hot Pursuit, why Main Street, Alaska was safer back in sledding days. An auto thief's stupid decision, trying to get away in a car with no gas. But first, this drug cop's nose knows it's weed indeed.
On ground! On ground!
Dumb beyond belief is sneaking marijuana through Bonifay, Florida, and not maintaining a low profile. This guy's been weaving all over the road and tossing lit cigarettes onto the median. Smart.
How you doing? Got your driver's license on you? This your vehicle? Yeah, you got your registration proof of insurance? Got to bump that center line a little bit. We'll make sure you're okay to drive, all right? Well, everything needs to throw the lit cigarette out. Got for a start? You okay to drive? Yeah. Okay. Well, I say you bump that center line a little bit. Okay. You just eating? Yeah, sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds. Maybe these kids are just getting off on a healthy munch. Lucky for these youngsters, the cops are feeling lenient.
Bumping center lines like a $78 ticket. I don't catch your break on that. Throwing a lit cigarette out the window is technically a criminal offense. They take that serious. All them wildfires they have down here. I won't let you go to one on that. Make sure your license come back okay. Y'all sit tight for me.
From the vehicle's trunk wafts an aroma. Now, where has the officer smelled that pungent odor before?
Kind of odd, ain't it?
That's odd, all right. These dudes claim they're heading to Alabama for uplifting of a spiritual kind. If their story seems unlikely, it's probably because they're packing more than just self-help books in that trunk.
Oh, you carry scale. Oh, you carry scale.
Maybe they're Weight Watchers on strict calorie-controlled diets. Maybe not. Few things amuse Bonifay, Florida cops like folks thinking they were born yesterday. Come on, they're trained to smell pot at 100 paces.
Get on ground! On ground!
It's just insulting to the officer's intelligence. These kids thought they could get away with drug smuggling without any attempt to slide under the radar. Perhaps the governor will thank the cops for getting over a pound of skank weed off Alabama streets. No need, just another fine day upholding the law, folks. Directly ahead, forget hell freezing over. This is Alaska heating up on the highway. Plus, a kid so dangerously dumb, his buddies abandon his stolen car for the safety of the cops. A scary road wreck in Alaska qualifies for a dumb award because of where it happened. In the snowy north, where everyone knows roads are icy. Everyone except this goofball, bearing down fast from the left lane. He collides so fast, so recklessly, nobody sees it coming. Watch again how thousands of dollars in damages are caused by fishtailing out of control and accelerating on, oh yeah, on ice. The good news, nobody got seriously hurt. The bad news, this guy's not saving any money on his car insurance. Our final salute to foolish felonies goes to an 18-year-old in Vermilion, Ohio, busted 8 times already. He's about to learn some things the hard way. The first lesson, getting busted a 9th time isn't a charm. Second, even your dumb pals don't want to know you. And finally, cops are like elephants. They don't forget. It starts when he's pulled over for expired plates.
What's going on, guys? What are you up to? Not much. What are you all sweaty for? Actually, I was just working on this. You know, yeah, the plates expired almost a year ago. Yeah, I know. We just bought this car, actually. Okay. Yeah, it's not even in my name yet. Okay. Yeah. Do you have your license on you? I need ID from everybody.
Something rings a bell for the officer. He's seen this kid somewhere before. Oh, where was it now?
Car from car picture. No, that's not me. That wasn't you? No. You sure? Yeah.
This kid insists he's not the auto thief from earlier, but his pals know he is, and that the legal writ is about to hit the fan. So they abandon their doomed friend to the officer's mercy.
What's going on? What's going on? What are you guys doing? Stay here.
Speaking of dumb behavior, did we mention the kid just took off with an almost empty gas tank?
419 pursuit.
Where's your speed?
190, no traffic.
As their speed picks up, so too does the officer's memory. He busted the kid for stealing cars before. That must be why he was so familiar. So now he really wants to catch up with this dumb kid and teach him an important lesson.
Keep back down. What are we doing about 60 now?
The kid's empty gas tank catches up with him, and he slows to a crawl. But what about those buddies who jump ship?
The occupants didn't want anything to do with it. They said they'd wait there. They may be able to give us an ID.
It breaks the officer's heart to see this kid going nowhere except the prison system. Headquarters decides this would be a good time to check in with their officer.
Williams car 113. Black on his license.
I'll be coming into some turns up there, 419. Be careful.
But with the stolen car about to cough to a halt, the cop realizes the kid behind the wheel has one last chance to straighten up, if some sense is talked into it.
Down to about 5 miles an hour. Smoking real bad.
It's a bad sign he won't just pull over, give up, and assume the position. The cop remembers him now. He's not a bad kid, just not a real bright kid. For teens, breaking the law means taking on trained adults whose job is to stop them, one way or another. How to handle this bust? He could just cuff him and ignore him, or he could say a good thing in a kind of bad way.
Sorry, dude. I'm going to prison, brother. Why are you doing this? Because I have a warrant for my arrest. That was pretty stupid. You could have killed driving the lights on 100 miles an hour like that. Don't hit me. You just ruined your life, is what you just did. Yeah.
Too harsh? Nah, just a concerned cop being the tough dad a dumb kid should have had.
Right now on Hot Pursuit, the cops turn up the heat on a runaway redneck. This car turns into a real tree hugger. And 3 wheels are never better than 4. The erratic driving of this blue pickup has caught the attention of not 1, but 2 police departments in Texas. Denton City Sheriff's deputy called in the Aubrey PD for backup. It's a sunny day. Might as well get some fresh air. So while the cops are otherwise occupied, this guy strikes a pose, playing it cool. But pretty soon, he decides he can't take the heat.
Hey, man, get back over here.
Instead of quietly slipping away, he hops into the car right next to him.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Now the heat's really on. Especially since the stolen car belongs to the officer from Aubrey, Texas.
We just stole my vehicle, county vehicle going northbound.
With so many patrol cars in pursuit, this chase has just hit its boiling point. Suddenly, they spot the stolen cruiser coming in the opposite direction.
We're northbound.
A high-speed left turn is just too much for the car thief, and he veers onto the grass. This genius must not be as comfortable with the car's controls as a trained officer.
3617, are you in this area? You're on support.
One feature of the cruiser he can use, the gas pedal. Police cruisers are meant to catch fleeing suspects, not help them get away. Have they lost them? Probably not. The cloud of dust ahead is a dead giveaway. The police cruiser was too hot to handle, and he lost control. The suspect makes a final bid for freedom, but quickly cools down. The police swarm the suspect. They're keeping a close eye on their cars this time. They don't want him getting away again. This crook would have been better off cooling off inside the convenience store. Instead, he'll soon find himself in a warm and cozy prison cell. When complaints came in about people flashing some skin, this deputy was called out to flash his badge. The couple in this boat are 1, drunk, and 2, naked. And the deputy doesn't want too close a view.
You need to step off the boat and onto the dock here, please. Sir, stand over here. Stand over there, sir. Stand over there. You stand over there, sir. Sir, you need to stand over here. Sir, you need to stand right here, please. Okay? Ma'am, you need to come on. Ma'am, you need to come on over here.
The man finally comes to his senses and puts on some shorts.
You know what? You and the whole Orange County Sheriff's Department. We paid your salary.
Okay, ma'am.
So, we're trying to have fun. We're naked. So what?
I know you were naked. That's why I wanted you to put some clothes on.
Okay, so the nudity has been taken care of. Now it's time for the drunk part.
I want to check your eyes, okay? Yes, sir. All right. Touch the tip of my pen with your right index finger. Right in. Yes, sir. Touch the tip of my pen with your right index finger. Yes, sir. Touch the tip of my pen with your right index finger. Yes, sir. Sir. You want me to touch it? What do you want me to do with it? I want you to touch the tip of my pen with your right index finger. I'm asking you what to do with it. Touch it. Touch the tip of my pen with your right index finger, okay? The top of my pen. Keep on moving it. I'm not moving it, sir. Top, that's there. Okay, put your hands down. Let me lift the top. Where's the top?
He's half naked and full-on drunk.
I want you to tilt your head back, close your eyes, and commence to reciting the English alphabet in a slow, non-rhythmic manner. I'm going to give you an example. A, B, C. Sir, don't begin yet. A, B, C, D,
E-F-G-H-I-J. Like that. Do you understand those instructions?
How far do you want to go?
From A to Z. Do you understand those instructions?
I can't go that far.
You can't go that far?
No, sir, I cannot. I don't have that educational value.
Okay, so basically you're refusing then, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm refusing.
All right.
I'm not refusing.
Let me pat you down for a second, sir. Put your hands up. You have a second.
The only letters he does know? D, U, and I.
Ma'am.
2012.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great?
Great. You know, when you were at the shed, let me just tell you something. I was telling this officer over here who's an idiot.
Who's an idiot? He's not an idiot. That happens to be a good friend of mine.
Maybe his female friend has a higher IQ.
Would you submit to some field sobriety exercises?
Fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Whatever.
What is your name?
Alicia Medeiros.
Miss Medeiros.
Yes.
I'm Deputy Campbell.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Let's hope she has more luck with the pen test than her boyfriend did.
Come on now. More than this, okay? Give me more than this. Do, 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 do. S-T-U-C-W-S-Y-G.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Okay.
Come on, you're
Looks like she knows her ABCs.
Here's what I want you to do. Turn around.
You ain't what?
Turn around. Placing you under arrest for BUI.
What's that?
Voting under the influence, ma'am.
The cops know their letters and what they stand for, too. In the case of this couple, BUI stands for buck naked, uneducated, and intoxicated. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, let's back things up a bit. After this crash, there's only one thing left standing. And a suspect has fewer brain cells than wheels. In Sikeston, Minnesota, a patrol car speeds through a parking lot on its way to a high-pressure standoff between the police and two suspects. The male driver and female passenger were pulled over for a routine traffic stop. The cops ran the truck's plates, and guess what? It was stolen. The driver hits the gas and the couple starts flying. They must have something else to hide. The pickup has a head start, so officers up ahead try to cut it off. Back on the road, this officer is too late. The truck cuts across the traffic and keeps heading down the road. If he wouldn't stop for the officers of the Sikeston PD, it doesn't seem like he'll stop for anything. As the chase continues, one patrol car finally gets in front of the suspects. He races ahead. Will he be able to slow the truck down? Yes, indeed. The driver thought he could ram the police and get away, but it didn't quite have the effect he wanted. Instead of freedom, he got a concussion. His female companion, a fractured neck. There's more than one way to catch a thief. Sometimes they stop all by themselves. Here's a luxury sedan with all the latest features. Bulletproof glass, automatic door locks, and one more important thing. A video camera with a direct link to the police. That's because it's a bait car.
How the f*** this happening, homie? It's clean as f***.
So clean, the only prints on it are his.
Nah, f*** all that, homie. This got two cleaner seats to do all that right now. I'm dipping to the east, homie. You got any gas?
He's so cheap he steals cars and then tries to borrow gas.
Yeah, hey, but check it out, huh? Hey, the door panels, they're the same or what?
He hot-wired the car. Turns out it was a big waste of time.
What the is this, homie? Oh, before the Acura keys are in here, homie? The car keys are in here. Fool, this is setup, fool. Get behind me, fool, get behind me. I feel like a setup, homie. Just look at the keys are still in here, fool, everything.
Now that he knows it's a trap, you'd think he'd ditch the car.
Hey, will the back seat fit in my Ford or no, huh?
You'd be wrong.
Keep it low, but I got me some Jesus guts right now. Going to the east, homie. I'm taking to the east right now.
Now that the cops have shown up, he's not taking it anywhere. He took the bait, and now the cops are taking him. In Frisco, Texas, police are trying to stop Geraldine Kaminsky, who they suspect is driving drunk. Even though she's intoxicated, she should know her way around a little better. After all, she is the chair of the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. She's weaving all over the road. Maybe the lanes in this town aren't wide enough for her. Surely she can use her office to get that changed. The cops are trying to make their presence known, but she's far too drunk to notice. Not only is her driving impaired from the alcohol, so is her hearing. Finally, she slows down. Maybe she's come to her senses. Looks like things are coming to an end. After all, why risk a night in the slammer or a scratch on a nice Mercedes? She's already proven her bad judgment once. Maybe she'll redeem herself. Then again, maybe not. She must have sobered up real quick. She obeys the cops and exits the vehicle. She's cuffed and taken away, straight to one of the city government's buildings. But it's not her office. It's the slammer. Working for the city comes with a lot of responsibility, but she's got it all backwards. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, this suspect is barking up the wrong tree. One accident's over, but another one coming right up. And a suspect puts the pedal to the metal and the metal to the pavement. In Baytown, Texas, an officer is trying to pull over a couple involved in a hit and run. Just when it looks like they're about to slow down, they take off. They're already wanted for fleeing the scene of one accident. At this rate, they might find themselves at the scene of another one. An accident is bound to happen as they barrel down a narrow residential street. When will it happen? How about now? This time, they won't be going anywhere. They thought of every possible way to shake the cops, but in the end, they got stumped. It's the scene of a different accident, this one in North Carolina, and caused by a suspected drunk driver. Trooper Clark checks it out.
Are you okay? Yeah, because you're shaking in your car.
No, I'm okay.
You all right? Do you get nervous around the police sometimes?
I'm okay.
Okay.
You probably need to get some coffee or something, right?
With the suspect calmed down, he checks up on another driver involved in the accident and strikes up a conversation.
Where did you stay at in Miami? Oh my God. 911! Call 911!
Truck's driver gets out. State Trooper DiGiovanni checks up on his colleague.
Oh, you okay? You okay, mate? You okay?
But he's not okay. Trooper Clark is badly injured and rushed to the hospital. Driver of the truck, however, is fine. A little shook up, but fine. A little bit of small talk.
Where did you stay at in Miami?
Turned into a big disaster. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, trying to outrun the cops is never a bright idea. And if there's one thing you don't want, it's the chief of police right on your tail. In Upper Arlington, Ohio, a patrol car is on its way to help hunt down a suspect in an SUV. But as the officer pulls up, it looks like he might be too late. 2 patrol cars already have the SUV pinned. But just when things look like they're all tied up, it all comes unraveled. Making his escape, a man wanted for carjacking. No wonder he wants to give the cops the runaround.
Well, I think we get an OSB out here with some stop sticker here or somebody.
But he might not be able to run around the spike strips being set up just down the road. The trap works. 2 tires have been blown to the rims. But nothing is stopping him yet. Not even metal on pavement. Cops set another trap for this road animal. Maybe they can take out the rest of his tires. But even that doesn't stop the guy. Good thing the sparks from his wheels make it easy for the cops to spot him. Pretty soon his car has had enough. You can only drive so far without tires. Like an animal stalking its prey, the patrol car moves in for the kill. They've got him right in their sights. But he's not about to be caged. He still thinks he can get away. Too bad his SUV gets grounded. He's a sitting duck. He's much tamer now, since there's nothing he can do but put his hands in the air as the cops move in to claim their prize. In Empire, Ohio, Anthony Serali's strange driving has gotten some complaints, and now the chief of police is on his tail.
I've been following a car from Pennsylvania where he's going all over the road.
You driving real slow or?
He drives real fast, then he quits.
As if on cue, he does just that. The car hits the brakes, and the chief hits the car. Everything's been turned on its side.
I'm gonna crash.
Motorists come to the aid of the police.
Are you okay?
Drunk drivers can be lethal. Thankfully, the chief caught a break. Right now on Hot Pursuit. Kick back and watch as a driver kicks up some dirt. The Pursuit gets really hot. And an officer is left out in the cold. Timothy Green wanted to do something with his life. So he quit his job as a computer programmer and trained to become a police officer. Now he's putting that training to the test, chasing John David Phillips, a 3-time convicted felon. After Phillips stops his SUV, it's clear that he's gunning for a 4th conviction. Literally. Green takes cover beneath the dashboard, but gets hurt by some shattered glass. Still, with the public at risk, this brave new cop isn't about to let a dangerous criminal get away. But Phillips isn't stopping for gas. He's reloading his high-powered assault rifle. Officer Green tries a trick he learned in training. He lets his cruiser inch forward and uses the open door for cover, getting off a few rounds at the SUV. But Phillips isn't interested in a back and forth, so he takes off. Further up the road, Phillips stops again and fires more shots at the rookie officer. A few seconds later, backup has arrived, and Officer Green offers a little advice of his own. With more officers involved, the chase comes to one final stop, erupting in a storm of gunfire. Even after taking cover behind Green's cruiser, the officers are still vulnerable to the hail of bullets. Phillips seems to have an unlimited ammo supply. But this time, when the cops return fire, Phillips is taken out of commission. For his bravery in the face of danger and strict adherence to police training, Officer Green was later honored by the police department. This brave officer wanted to do something to make the world safer, and he's off to a great start. This is a bait car.
No, this is a bait car. This is a bait car. I told you, it might be a bait car. No, it's not.
So, who's getting paid for this?
See, this is why he's going to sell it. What do we get? I don't know, but this is, I get it. I got it. Yeah, so
Sounds like the driver has been caught before. Probably a little too late to be thinking about that, but they press on, picking up their fearless leader. He's the boss of this criminal enterprise, and he likes things done his way. You might say he's a little picky.
I don't know. I didn't see my number. You know how
Please stop.
The man in charge decides to run a quick errand. Let's see if the police have anything to say about that. The passenger realizes that the jig is up. but the driver still thinks she has a chance to get away. She quickly comes to her senses. Half a dozen cops with drawn weapons have that sort of effect. Even if she had taken off, the bait car would still do its job. These crooks and their whole adventure have been caught on tape. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, a suspect misses his exit, so he makes one for himself. A driver finds a nice shady parking spot, and an officer gets the cold shoulder. In Temple, Texas, police are chasing a suspect who's a danger to everyone on the road, including himself. He's almost run down a traffic cop, plowed through a police roadblock, injured 2 officers, and now he's driving on the wrong side of the highway at high speeds. And his list of crimes is only getting longer. Cops follow the maniac on an adjacent service road. At least here, the cops won't have to ride into oncoming traffic. But this guy has no fear of that. He's playing with fire and really burning the officers up. The officers keep the maniac in their sights, hoping he doesn't seriously injure anybody. But for now, all they can do is express their frustration.
Oh my God. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go.
Some officers have sped ahead to warn oncoming motorists of the danger. And if the felon doesn't stop himself, the officers will do it for him.
Hit him, man. Come on, get him. Get him.
A patrol car moves in for the pit. But before the cruiser can finish the job, the driver decides it's time to turn the chase in a new direction. The police aren't going to let him get away this time. The suspect drops to the ground and right into the hands of the arresting officers. This man wouldn't listen to the cops. Maybe he should have taken obedience lessons from his dog. Over in Jacksonville, Texas, we're joining a pursuit in progress. It's another case of a suspect who makes up his own traffic laws. The guy here made an illegal right turn. No big deal, right? Except that it happened 2 hours ago, and the suspect still hasn't stopped for the cops. Maybe it's because he's seen these officers before. The driver, Stanley Tilley, is on probation for federal drug charges, which means it's likely that the cops will find something in his car to warrant another round of charges. Turn after turn, Tilley racks up even more violations. He's also racking up a lot of mileage. The cops are growing tired of this, but how tired Tilley might be is a bigger concern. All this high-speed driving leads to fatigue, and the cops want to stop him before he loses consciousness and control. So they block him in, forcing Tilley to take the roads they want him to take, which leads right to a set of spike strips. With 2 of his tires blown, Tilly's car loses its grip on the road, and he finally takes one turn too many. His car disabled, Tilly tries to run. But he's not as fast on foot as he is in his car. He didn't set any land speed records, but with a staggering 54 traffic violations in about 2 hours, he's definitely going down in history.
Oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, good officers don't make good roadblocks. An armed robber says, cheese. And a suspect puts the pedal to the metal and the metal to the pavement. A cop in Orion Township, Michigan, is waiting to join a chase that started miles away in Oxford, Michigan. Like they say, good things come to those who wait. Police have been asking him to pull over for miles. Being polite hasn't worked, so the cops have to be a little more forceful. 3 cruisers try to trap the suspect in a rolling roadblock. It looks like it's working, but the driver just keeps weaving in and out among the officers. Now that more cops have joined the chase, the suspect decides to get off the highway. The exit he's chosen is closed for construction, but this guy doesn't care at all. As another officer tries to slow him down, luckily the suspect blows a tire. The suspect is riding on a rim and a prayer. Not only is his tire shot, so are his chances of getting away.
We're slowing him down.
With even more rubber disintegrating from under him, he gives a dazzling light show, distracting himself from seeing the ditch he's about to drive into. An officer thinks he sees the driver reach for a gun. So, in an amazing act of bravery, he heads straight for him, kicks in the glass, and jolts him with the taser. When police search his car, they do find a gun, a toy gun. When cops chased this guy through Michigan, sparks flew. Glass shattered too, leaving this guy out in the cold. It's freezing in Detroit, especially for this cop who's just pulled over a car. The icy roads caused another car to spin out of control, clipping the cruiser, and then careening right into the officer, sending him 20 feet into a fence. Amazingly, the cop only suffered minor bruises, even though this crash could have knocked him out cold. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, a crook finds robbing a convenience store a little inconvenient.
He's running.
And a car thief hits a little holiday traffic. If you can't find what you're looking for at one convenience store in Port Richey, Florida, it's a good thing there's another one right around the corner.
The black man with a hat and a leather jacket.
An officer has responded to a call about an armed robbery, but instead of going to the site of the crime, he's wisely chosen to meet the crook at his next target, another convenience store 2 miles away. This time, he can catch him in the act and on camera. It's not long before this repeat offender is up to his old tricks, repeating an offense he's committed just minutes before. Now all the officer has to do is hurry up and wait. The crook sure is taking his time.
What's he doing in there? I don't know. She's handing him something. He looks normal? Or anybody upset? Both clerks are behind the counter. He's walking out. He's running. He's running to the car.
His buddy is waiting in the car. Their bounty? Beef jerky and candy bars. Oh, and a lot of cash.
All right, let's go. Dirty vehicle leaving the 7-Eleven. They're mean and rolling. Black male just ran out of the store.
It isn't long before the duo takes off, attracting even more attention by riding down the wrong side of the road. The pair blaze a trail all over town. Maybe they're looking for another mini-mart to rip off. Chances are these were probably the only two 24-hour joints in the area. Forget the mini-mart, though. What these guys really need is a repair shop. After one ill-advised swerve, their car crashes into a field. With multiple patrol cars and a canine unit on the scene, they're quickly apprehended. An officer does his best to hold back one of the dogs who smells something. Maybe it's the delicious odor of that stolen beef jerky. It's the day after Christmas, and most people are out early returning gifts they don't want. But one criminal in Palm Beach, Florida, is trying to hold on to a present he's given himself, a stolen Ford pickup. He puts some distance between himself and the cops. Maybe he wants to get home in time to have some leftover Christmas ham. But as he approaches another intersection, an innocent Mercedes driver gives the cops a gift of their own. The Mercedes spins around like a top, while the pickup leaves a trail of debris in its wake. The suspect tries to run off, but officers quickly track him down and arrest him. The fact that no one was killed in this crash is nothing short of a Christmas miracle. In Shreveport, Louisiana, an officer is responding to a call about a man in a van who's been following a woman home from work. It's a little creepy, but it's about to get just plain scary. For a second, it looks like the suspect, Darnell Jackson, is finished with stalking for the night. But when his reverse lights go on, it's clear his evening is just getting started. The officer tries to turn around, but it's a fake out. He's stuck straddling the road just as Jackson heads back the way he was going. Jackson might have been following someone before, but now he's the one being followed. Suddenly, he's out of his van and brandishing a sawed-off shotgun. When he doesn't stop, the cop has no choice but to open fire. But in the darkness of the night, none of the shots are on target. While the cop reloads, backup speeds toward the shootout. Jackson is fearless, a man out of control, and charges around the car. The woman Jackson was stalking before is now caught in a terrifying ordeal, facing her predator and his shotgun. The backup officer charges in, firing as he goes, saving the woman, and finally subduing Jackson and placing him under arrest. Jackson was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 for the lady and 1 for the officer.
Next, Court TV takes you on a wild ride. When you run from the law runs you down. Hot Pursuit. Next. Part of Court TV Red.
Hot Pursuit. We get off to a running start. This one's about to blow. And an SUV puts a new spin on going out for a spin. In Des Moines, Iowa, police are chasing 42-year-old Ed Burt down a rain-soaked road. He caught the attention of local law enforcement officials who saw him driving without a seatbelt. When they ran his license plate, they discovered that his criminal activities don't end there. He has 2 outstanding warrants and a history of escaping the police. Old habits die hard, so Ed tries it one more time. But the last time he escaped, the roads weren't this wet. Police think they have him and start pushing him into a ditch. But Ed still has a few tricks up his sleeve. As stunned motorists look on, Ed pulls around the back of the patrol car and attempts to speed off yet again. He heads south onto the highway. There's only one problem. As if the pursuit wasn't dangerous enough before, Ed and the cop chasing him hug the shoulder. Take wet roads, a barrage of oncoming traffic, and add speeds of up to 115 miles per hour, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Ed may still be headed in the wrong direction, but the cop has had enough. He can do more going the right way. His fellow officer, however, keeps up the wrong way chase. Word comes over the radio that Ed has left the highway. The cop sees his chance and hopes to cut him off. The other officer has taken the exit too. But where's Ed? Has the escape artist performed a vanishing act? No luck. Houdini has been spotted. No amount of magic will help Ed out of this one. A spun-out criminal has no sense of direction. Now that his bag of tricks comes up empty, he's headed straight to jail. There's nothing like taking your first ride in a new car, especially if the car is stolen. Then there's really nothing like it. The features on this car are impressive. Power windows, a great sound system, and oh yeah, a hidden security camera. That's because it's a police bait car, designed to take car thieves off the streets. Still, who wouldn't be proud of a new set of wheels?
Hey, can I lock my new car? How much it cost you? $6,000.
No one ever said car thieves were honest. He turns on the lights to get a good view of his new car's interior. But really, he's just giving the cops a better view of him and his buddy.
Sick, huh? Huh? Sick, huh? This guy, too. Oh, it's the same car. I'll give the cops a hell of a run.
Buckle up for my safety.
He wouldn't want to get caught doing anything illegal.
Okay, I gotta go. Okay, Doc. I will.
Now the police have an even better view. They're right behind him. He decides to see how his new car handles.
Oh, no way. I'm gonna jump for it. Son of a... Get there. No way. No way.
Safety must not be a concern anymore. He's about to make a high-speed exit. If he can get up the nerve. Amazingly, his safe landing is the luckiest thing that's happened to him all night. Too bad the cops have caught the whole thing on tape. In Beatrice, Nebraska, police tried to pull over a pickup with a busted set of taillights. The suspect must not be afraid of the dark, but he is afraid of the cops.
Now 90 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. I'm still northbound on Highway 4.
At least his headlights seem to be working. They show him the patrol car blocking the way up ahead.
He's going in a cornfield.
The cops take a side road to head him off. But one of their own is already fender to fender with the fleeing driver. When that doesn't stop him, an officer chases on foot with gun drawn. Against the blinding glare of his headlights, the cop fires shots at the pickup's tires.
He's on the rim right now.
An officer approaches the window, but this suspect isn't giving up.
Get on the ground now! On the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the... Get on the ground! Give me your other hand. Give me your other hand. Get up. Stand up.
This idiot is in a whole lot of trouble.
Go down over the hood for me. No, no. What are you running for?
Where are you guys chasing me?
Huh? You didn't have any taillights.
So he wasn't the brightest bulb in the box. In the end, thanks to the cops, he finally saw the light. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, crooks don't like to be pushed around. The cops catch a lucky break. And one unlucky driver falls head over heels. In Utah, the sky is clear and so are the roads. Good thing, because police are desperately trying to stop a suspect on the run. At an intersection ahead, they spot their man. A police SUV is close behind them. Very close. This suspect gets a new lease on this chase and gets away for now. chase continues down the road, where the suspect finds a strategic location. A busy parking lot. The SUV hasn't let up, though. He's right on him. After a quick cut across lanes of traffic, it looks like he might get away. But suddenly, freedom within reach, he makes the dumbest move of them all. He pulls into a residential driveway. So what if it's snowy? That's no big deal for a police SUV. It's not the suspect's home, it's a dead end. So he tries to run on foot. And only a few minutes later, the police have him in custody. Cops thought this guy would be a pushover. And when things got bumpy, sure enough, he started to get a little homesick. Police in Columbus, Ohio are responding to a call about an accident. A car smashed into a pickup truck. But Frankie Coleman, the mayor's wife, seems a little confused.
What happened here?
What happened here? You're involved in an accident.
No, I wasn't.
But you can barely stand.
I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine.
She's fine, she says, apart from the short-term memory loss.
Where are you coming from right now? You have been drinking tonight. I can smell an odor of alcohol.
Well, I had a little bit.
Okay. You hit a vehicle. You drove straight into this car. Yeah. You don't even notice that you hit this car? Did you want to take a look at it? Go ahead, walk around.
Maybe she couldn't see around the bottle she was drinking from.
No.
Do you remember hitting this car? You didn't drive into that truck?
No. Truck came around there, and the next thing I knew, it was like boom. I was just driving, and all of a sudden, boom.
We're going to have you take some voluntary field sobriety tests. You want to make sure you're okay to drive, okay?
That's fine.
Well, that's going to be between you and him.
He will if he watches Hot Pursuit.
You got to keep them going for safety, okay? You understand what you're going to do?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and start.
So you want me to do what?
Just like I told you, kick one foot up about 6 inches and count out loud.
One foot.
Just what about this test is confusing?
No. Just 1 foot. Tell me.
2 feet off the ground. Now that would be interesting.
Now don't hold on to me. You can't hold it. Okay. Oh, okay, that's good. We'll try the next test, okay? We'll try the next one. We'll try the next one. We're done with that one. This next test we're going to do is called the walk and turn. Okay? Now don't hold on to me unless you're going to fall. You're not going to fall, are you?
I don't know.
Well, if you're going to fall, you can grab on to me, but I don't... Turn. Keep 1 foot on the line. Turn.
I have to go forward and then turn.
Yes, ma'am. 9 steps forward.
Okay.
Small turn.
All right.
Y'all making that turn with small steps?
Right.
No, I can't leave. You guys do it all on your own.
Finally, a test she's excited to do.
9 steps down. Turn it 9 steps down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Make your turn and take 9 steps back. 1.
Counting drunk must be easier than driving drunk.
7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Or what?
The mayor's wife was 3 times the legal limit and pleaded guilty to 2 charges. This drunk driver couldn't pass a truck without hitting it, and she couldn't pass a sobriety test, but she did come close to just passing out. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, maybe he wants a juice box to go with his handcuffs. And this guy gets blown out. After kidnapping his passenger, the guy in this car is on the run in Brevard County, Florida. But police have him covered from all angles, on the ground and in the sky.
You guys watch yourself.
Looks like he's going to pull over, but he's just reacting to what he's seen up ahead.
He's going around the stop sticks.
He saved his tires from a blowout, and he takes off. But as fast as he goes, the cops are able to keep up.
6405, vehicle. Great, he's stopping, he's turning in the intersection, he's making a U-turn.
Now the police are struggling to follow him. Even the helicopter has to do a quick U-turn in the sky to keep up.
All right, vehicle southbound, 995 now, southbound, accelerating.
He may have missed the spike strips, but the cops get a lucky break. One of his tires blows on its own. Still, what's the big deal? He has 3 good tires left.
Yep, I've got flat tires, we're stopping.
Looks like he actually does need all 4. He slows to a halt.
Vehicle stop.
This suspected kidnapping was a domestic dispute gone wrong. Both husband and wife are apprehended.
All right, white male in custody. White female in custody.
This couple was under pressure and underinflated. Now, they're under arrest. In Ypsilanti, Michigan, you have to be 16 to get a learner's permit. But the driver of this white SUV got a head start, a very big head start. A cop responds to the scene and gives the boy a tough interrogation.
What's your name, sweetie?
I'm Larry.
You're Larry?
Yeah.
And how old are you, Larry?
I'm 5. But I turned 6.
You took the truck without your mommy and daddy knowing?
Yeah.
With such a dangerous criminal on her hands, she has no choice. She calls for backup.
He's in this by himself?
The boy must have expensive taste in cars. He took his grandmother's Cadillac Escalade. He stood on the seat and coasted for several blocks before cops were able to stop him, avoiding at least one accident.
I got to use the bathroom. I got to use the bathroom.
You got to use the bathroom, sweetie?
Yeah.
All right, it's an emergency?
Yeah.
Most thieves get one phone call, not a potty break. His driving days are over, at least for the next decade.
We're going to take you home now, sweetie?
Yeah, just take me home.
You ready to go home, Pumpkin?
Yeah.
Okay, let's buckle you in. Keep you nice and safe, okay?
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, don't be afraid of the dark. And this driver sure knows how to rock and roll. In Layton City, Utah, the driver ahead is wanted for a minor offense, driving without his headlights on. But he's also trying to outrun the cops, and that is a much bigger deal. Who knows why his lights are off? Perhaps he's trying to hide something. The suspect turns into a dark residential area. You'd think he'd turn his lights on now. It might have helped him see the parked truck he almost hit. It's a close shave, and he needs to relax for a second. But only for a second. He's off again, driving down the wrong side of the street. The only light coming from the police car that's behind him. He's driving so badly, the police wouldn't be surprised if he were drunk or high on drugs. No one pulls a stunt like this over a pair of broken headlights. Each twist and turn is a potential disaster. The officers stick as close as they can in the hopes of stopping him quickly and safely. With no way out of the suburban sprawl, he changes tactics. It's time to run. Despite the solid chase work of local police, he slips into the darkness. Two passengers, however, couldn't escape the harsh glare of the arresting officers. In Weberville, Michigan, an officer is on his way to a call when he gets a little bit sidetracked. Here's 29-year-old Emily Bonus cruising along in her Ford Explorer, minding her own business. In an attempt to avoid a vehicle merging onto the highway, another driver accidentally merges into Emily. The car is tossed and turned too many times to count. Thankfully, the deputy is on the scene. Against all odds, but because of one buckled seatbelt, Emily survives. It was just a tiny mistake, but it almost had deadly results. Deputies are still searching for the hit-and-run driver who failed to stop after the accident. Right now on Hot Pursuit. Don't make us have to turn this car around. Some cops are always right on target. And talk about the world's worst speed bump. In Jackson, Georgia, the driver up ahead has the good sense to signal before passing on the left. But the way he passes on the right makes no sense whatsoever. The driver is a suspected drug runner, and running from the police is the only thing on his mind right now. Maybe that's why he's all over the place, totally ignoring the rules of the road. He's also ignoring the safety of everyone else on the highway, recklessly scraping between two giant trucks. The suspect has slipped out of sight with a dangerous maneuver, and the police need to find him to regain control of this situation. There he is. He can run, but he can't hide. He's still a danger to everyone on the road, so the cops trail cautiously behind. Another patrol car joins the chase, which briefly jumps off the highway, only to jump back on almost immediately. The cops have had enough. It's time to move in. If at first you don't succeed, try the pit maneuver again. The suspect crashes into the median and then hurtles across 3 lanes of traffic. It looks like he's been stopped cold, but he isn't about to give up yet. He takes off into the forest. Run, Forrest, run! No surprise, he's faster in his car than he is on foot. He's quickly apprehended. This racing drug runner gave the cops a run for their money. But one perfectly executed pit maneuver put an end to this marathon. Over in Macon, Georgia, Sergeant Billy Boney pulls over a driver who's been clocked 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. It's a routine stop, but Sergeant Boney has gotten a look at the driver and knows he should keep his distance.
Step back here, please. Step back here, please. See your driver's license, please.
The muscle man looks like he'd do well in a wrestling ring, so the Sarge is being extra careful.
Shut your door. Stand right around here for me, please.
Excuse me?
Stand right around here for me, please.
Excuse me?
I say stand right there for me, please, sir. Where's your driver's license, please?
I can't find it.
Oh, you can't find them. I just checked you at 76 and a 55, sir. So how come I stopped you? Why are you going so fast?
Why am I going so fast?
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to get home.
10-4. Don't put your hand in your pocket, please. You ain't got to do all that. Just don't put your hand in your pocket, please.
He seems to know the routine, and that tells Sergeant Boney this guy has wrestled with the law before.
I say do not put your hand in your pocket. Are you hard of hearing or what?
Oh, just tell me what's up.
How much you had to drink tonight?
Huh?
Stand around that way. Stand around that way. Stop. You get your ass around in front of that car. Put your hands on the hood. Put your hands on the hood. I got something here for you, man. You better cool it. 10D1.
Sergeant Boney calls in for backup.
10D1, 29 right away.
Looks like he'll need it.
Stop. 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 Get on the ground. Get down on the ground. Get down on the ground. Get on the ground.
This guy hasn't listened to one thing yet, and he isn't about to start now.
Stop. Stop.
Suddenly, it's a roadside rumble as the guy sends Sergeant Boney over the railing. He's been thrown out of the ring, but the smackdown continues. It's not a fair fight, and there's no ref to call it off. Looking more like a mud wrestler, the suspect jumps back into his car, leaving Sergeant Boney dazed and defeated.
10-1 control.
10-1.
I'm in a... Help me. Get somebody down here to help me.
Thankfully, he isn't severely injured. 30 seconds later, the brave officer is up for another round. Less than a mile up the road, his fellow officers have nabbed the heavyweight.
Control, we got him up here, 10-3.
This hulking motorist was ready to rumble. He may have pinned an officer, but in the end, he lost the match. Coming up on Hot Pursuit, when a driver decides to back things up, a cop gets all turned around. And a drunk biker gets a quick lesson. In the battle of car versus motorcycle, the car always wins. The only thing more stupid than being drunk on 4 wheels? Being drunk on 2. The guy on this motorcycle runs a red light in front of Officer Todd Royval. Officer Royval spins around. His night just got a lot more interesting.
Got a DUI motorcycle. He just about hit me.
Continue to respond.
237, he's all over the road.
He's driving all over the road now, but Officer Royval is hoping to keep this guy from getting splattered all over the road. Not one for obeying traffic laws, the guy does an illegal U-turn.
Just turn around, we're gonna go southbound.
But the officer is right on him. When he attempts another U-turn, Officer Royval seizes the opportunity to end the chase. 2 tons of steel are no match for 2 tiny wheels.
Get on the ground! Get on the whip! Okay. Put your hands on your back! Put your hands on your back right now! 237, I got him in custody. Sorry, man. How'd I do wrong? I was just driving back to Cleveland, man. You about killed me and yourself. Sorry, man. Sorry, I'm real sorry. How much you had to drink? About 5 or 6 beers. That's more than that. Get up.
Safely cuffed, now safely frisked.
You got anything on you that's gonna poke me or cut me? No, hell no. No, my wallet's out. Man, I've drunk a little bit, that's it. You drunk a lot of bit? No, not a lot of bit.
Actually, he's had 2 times the legal limit.
Sorry, man.
Here's a new excuse: color blindness.
The green? The light was green. The light wasn't green. Yes, it was on my side. It was green for me. Okay.
This motorcyclist was riding high, but one little push from the police brought him right back down to earth. It's a beautiful day in Garland, Texas, and Officer Reckus Jones has pulled over 25-year-old Herman Nixon. When the officer asked him to turn over his ID, he turned and ran. Now Nixon is leading Officer Jones on a foot race around his '85 Oldsmobile. Suddenly, Nixon leaps back into his car, but the officer is right on his tail and isn't about to let him get away. The cop tries to get at the man through the car's open window, but he doesn't have a lot of leverage. Officer Jones manages to get the door open, but getting this guy out will be another story altogether. If the suspect won't come out, he'll just have to go in. But the suspect decides to demonstrate just who's in the driver's seat. Bystanders rush to the cop's aid. One even risks serious injury, narrowly avoiding getting run over by the out-of-control car. Soon enough, he's back on his feet, able to join the others chasing the car. A woman jumps into her pickup and grabs her phone to help the cop by calling more cops. But before long, the officer takes control and stops the suspect from getting away. Thankfully, the officer wasn't hurt, although the same can't be said for his shoes. Coming up on Hot Pursuit: 1 thief, 1 cop, 4 tires, and 5 bullets. You do the math. And this driver goes above and beyond the call of duty. In Oak Ridge, Texas, the police catch a robber in the act, stealing from a cell phone store. The officer decides to deliver a message.
Hey, hands up! Hands up! Put your hands up!
After filling the crook's tire with lead, Officer Straight starts pursuing the thief. The police are lagging behind, but not for long, thanks to all the bullets in this suspect's tires. That's the guy right up ahead, pretending that everything's under control.
I shot at his left rear wheel. There's no way he's gonna make it too far.
The criminal is now wanted for robbery, avoiding arrest, hey, and maybe even driving while talking on a cell phone. Now it's time to just sit back and wait for the thief's tire to fully deflate. Hey, buddy, why don't you use one of those stolen phones to call AAA? The suspect weaves around traffic, hoping to get some distance between himself and the cops. But finally, he starts riding on his rims and he slows down. Looks like the chase is over. But think again. He jumps the median. Obviously, his stolen phones are worth more to him than his car. Why else would he leave it in drive? He was later apprehended by Officer Strait, who found him with the phones and a gun. This cop decided to deliver a message to a suspect loud and clear. Can you hear me now? But unfortunately for the crook, none of his phones will get service in prison. In Delhi Township, Ohio, 20-year-old Kristen Hetzer is leading the police on a wild chase. She's old enough to drive, but not old enough to drink. Not that drunk driving is legal at any age. So when the cops pulled her over, she took off. As she drives around a big right-hand bend at high speeds, she loses control of the car. It looks as if the cops will be taking her in. But Kristen is either the best or the luckiest drunk driver in the world. The cops keep up the chase. Her speed would be dangerous no matter where she was. But on these narrow roads, she'll need all the luck in the world to get away unscratched. She gets tired of twisting through back roads and heads onto the highway. But on this narrow access road, she's more likely to find a collision than an on-ramp. Suddenly, it looks like she has a flat. She pulls over, and the cops move in. She's not done yet. Making sure to grab her purse, she takes off. With officer after officer in pursuit, she doesn't stand a chance. She's apprehended, and when she's taken away, one of the officers is left holding the bag. Literally. Because once she's put in the back of a police cruiser, she pulls the ultimate escape act. This video is taken from the front seat of the stolen police car, now being driven by Officer Kristen herself. The skinny girl slipped off her cuffs, got in the front seat, and took off. Kristen is now leading the police on the second chase of the night. They're on I-75, leaving Ohio for northern Kentucky. Kristen decides to get off. Now that she's over state lines, maybe she thinks she can get away. But she gets a little homesick because as the cops close in, she turns back towards the highway. This time she runs out of luck. The police car is too much for her to handle.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands!
David 32, I got one at gunpoint here. Kyle's Lane, 75.
Keep your hands where I can see them! Keep your hands up!
All right, need help?
Yeah, I need help.
As a random driver stops to help, just imagine what he must be thinking. Why is a policeman pointing his gun at his own car?
Keep your hands up. Get out, get on the ground. Get on the ground.
I'm on the ground.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
I'm on the ground.
Lay down.
This time, the officer makes sure those cuffs are on nice and tight. They say youth is all about learning from your mistakes. But Kristen Hetzer made the same mistake twice.
Get on the ground.
Coming up on Hot Pursuit, even a suspect should wear their seatbelt.
I know.
And this guy's riding high. They say that alcohol lowers inhibitions. Police in Oak Ridge, Texas are finding that out firsthand.
You want it? You got it. Can I mention something?
She's looking for a little small talk. This woman must think she's still chatting men up at the bar. No such luck. These officers are arresting her for driving under the influence.
Hurt my nose.
Gee, that's too bad. The officer puts the pedal to the metal. Better get her to the station fast, or all those drinks she's had will wind up all over the back seat. And this woman is experienced in going fast.
I have not had a test in years.
That line might work on singles, but not on professionals like Officer Tess.
Your man give me what I've been missing from. If you have on
The officer just ignored her, which is probably what happened to her at the bar, too. It's the middle of winter in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and the roads are extremely icy. Losing control in conditions like this could be a lethal mistake. The car on the right is all turned around, and the officer creeps up slowly to investigate. But before he can get there, like a movie stunt, the black car rides right over the top of the white one. Only these aren't professionals, just incredibly lucky drivers. The man getting out of the car has literally run over another driver and gets out to see what he's done. These two are lucky to be alive, so they comfort each other. The officer comes over to check things out. Now, that's a nice group hug. The two men walk the distraught woman to warmth and safety, practically ice skating as they make their way down the slippery highway. Well, things could have been worse. It could have been warmer, and she could have been driving a convertible.